The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, it's Andy Fletcher from Convertri here. How you all doing today? I'm one second, I'll just get my screen up as well so you got something to look at. Right, there we go. Okay, you should see inside the Convertri editor on my screen, and you also should be able to hear my voice. If you're a bit shy, just stick a 1 in the chat box or just say yes. And if you're a bit more extroverted like me, tell me who you are, where you're from, so we can get to know each other. Oh wow, loads of people already. Hey Karen, hey Yui, hey Marlin, hey Chip, hey Mark, hey Richard, hey Armand, hey Victoria, hey Thomas, hey Ben. Oh, okay, there's quite a lot of people on this call. If I miss your name, I apologize. This is a long list. Hey Ben, hey James, hey Michael, hey Fred, hey Mark, hey Nick, hey David, hey Arnold. That was a cartoon in the 90s, wasn't it? Where did I get up to? Ben, Michael, Karen, Patrick, Bob, Luke, Chandra, Frank, Jim. Okay, that's a really, really long list. Okay, everyone can hear me, and I'm not going to try and read all of that out. Right, cool. Thank you so much for coming out today. So, as the sign-up page said, I'm Andy Fletcher. I'm the CEO, founder, and janitor of Convertri. And the purpose of this webinar is to give you some insights into how to get the most out of it. I'm going to take you inside the editor mostly. We're going to go through how to build pages really quickly, some of the shortcut stuff that's not so intuitive that you won't just automatically figure out, and just generally give you an idea of how to use the tool. So, and at the end of this, it will be that I will hang around, we'll do questions and answers. But before we get going, I just want to apologize in advance. I'm feeling pretty fluey today, and my throat's quite raw. So if I have to pause occasionally for a drink, sorry. And if my voice is all over the shop like I'm going through puberty, also sorry. But we should be good. Cool. So the call is going to pretty much be as long as it lasts. The demo section at the beginning, probably like half an hour's worth or so, and then what we'll do is we'll do questions and answers, and I'll happily hang around and we'll talk about how to use things, how to set things up. There are some bits of the demo I won't go into today. We'll be doing more sessions like this, so don't freak out. This isn't like the one and only thing. We've been around for quite a while. We do quite a few of these, so don't freak out if we don't get to something today. But I will hang around for quite a while, and we can get some questions answered. So let me just have a quick look at what we got in the list. Oh yes, it's being recorded. This will be mailed out to everyone, whether you were on the call or not. This is just part of the training we like to share with you guys. Great. Okay, looks like everyone can hear me okay. So I'm just gonna have a swig of tea and we'll get started. Right. Okay. Let's. Who's actually started? Who's already logged into Convertri? Who's built a page already? Give us a 2 in the chat box if you've already built a page. Let me see. And in fact, give me a 2 if you've already built a page, and give me a 3 if you haven't. Let's see where we're at. Cool. That's a pretty good mix. Lots of 2s, a bunch of 3s as well. That's cool. So we're gonna hopefully covered a decent set of stuff today. So those of you that have already started building stuff, you should learn some nice new cool tips and tricks, how to do it a bit faster, some different effects you can create. And those of you that haven't built one yet, hopefully you'll come away feeling confident enough that you can get your first page built. Cool. Wow. Loads of it. Fantastic. So we've got, oh wow. So, okay, there's 200 people live on this call at the moment. That explains why every time I ask something, we've got an absolute slew of answers, which is brilliant. That does mean when we do the question and answer session, there's going to be quite a lot to get through. All right. So let's get inside the editor and have a look. So my account is obviously, I'm an admin on the account, so you will see a few things in here which aren't like that admin menus, like the stuff for our back office. You will see a couple of things in this account which just aren't like relevant to you. But everything we're going to demo today is going to talk about stuff that's just available in the base Convertri package. So there's no like whiz bang extras. This is the stuff that's available to everyone. So this is. So we're going to have our customer demonstration page, and we're also going to set up a thank you page. To give us somewhere to link to, because what we're going to build today is a very simple squeeze page. I'm gonna do kind of other stuff and delete it and mess around, but what we're going to end up with is a squeeze page. And so we're going to give ourselves a thank you page that we're going to target. So nothing complicated for this. This is just going to be a thank you page. So thank you. So we've got a thank you page live. We're not going to worry about that one. You could design it, you could put messages on it, you can tell people how to whitelist on it, all of that good stuff, but it's not really the important part of the demo. All we're doing there is we're giving ourselves a thank you page, because what we're going to do is we're going to build a squeeze page to capture leads, and then we need somewhere to send them. Obviously, you'd make it a bit more fancy, but the thank you page isn't the interesting part. So we're going to focus on building a squeeze page today. Hey guys, usual things. I see a bunch of people asking questions about whether it's live or not. So it's currently 3:07 in the UK. It is live. Obviously, it'll be 7 minutes past a different hour where you are. Cool. So connecting the arrows. I promise I won't do. I'm not going to wander off course too often with questions in the chat, because there's quite a lot of people here. But just to reiterate that, so the arrow is this bottom right thing here, new arrow, and dragging it across. That's how you draw one of those on the page. Cool. Okay, I see tons of questions coming in. I'll, if anything like jumps out at me, I'll try and answer it at the time, but I'm not going to wander off course too much. I'm pretty ADHD with this stuff. If I start answering questions, we'll never get through a section, and everyone else on the chat will be pretty annoyed with me. This has happened many times before. However, I will hang around. As I say, this will be about half an hour's worth of demo, and then I will do a Q&A section. So if you're typing questions in right now and it looks like I'm ignoring you, I kind of am, but I will come back to it, I promise. Right, okay, so let's look at the different element types. These are our basic building blocks. So we've got the main things you're going to care about are images, text, panels, and form elements. So we'll start at the top, text editor, drag and drop in, or as with all of these, just clicking on the element will create one in the middle of the page. And then in Convertri, everything is freeform. So you can drag it around, you can put it anywhere you like, and you can type straight into it. So this is hello world, and what is it, 29th today, 29th of October. So there we go, 29th October 2019. So anyone that sat there wondering if this really is live, there you go. Unless I recorded it earlier today, that's pretty hard to fake. So then in terms of manipulating the text, it's just like Word with the toolbar you see at the top. So if you want to make text centered, if you want to select it and change the font, Archivo Black's our demonstration fonts, so I'll use that. Ditto font sizing. Then resize the box, drag it around. You'll see one quite useful thing of Convertri is we have these snap lines. So as you drag stuff around, I know this is centered in the middle because of the snap line, but we've also got some quite cool alignment tools as well to help you lay it out. So I'm going to publish this. So this is Ox 2019 / opt-in. Publish that. And I'll let you guys follow along at home. I'm going to stick that in the chat box there. So if you do want to see what I'm building as we go, I'll keep publishing that so you can refresh it. And you also should see one quite cool thing is that you'll see it when you refresh that page, and I'll try and do that as we go through. You'll see it does load really, really fast, which is pretty important. And we'll talk a bit more about page speed as well as we go. Yeah, I'll say this. I realize quite a few people are dripping in, so I will repeat some of the intro bits a few times. Main intro bits are, it's live, it's 3 on October the 29th. Yes, there will be a recording, and I'll be ignoring questions mostly, and we'll do a Q&A section at the end. So text editor, completely like Word. So hopefully for those of you that stuck to in the chat box just now, this is already familiar to you. If you haven't started already, remember, squeeze page, mostly only need a little bit of text, maybe the odd image or two. You don't need to make it overly complicated. But the text editor is really just like Word. So you should be able to do just about anything you want with it. Even down to things like, I want that text underlined. I want this text italic. Simple as that. And then freeform layout means you drag it, put it anywhere you want. Next up, we've got images. So you'll see I did a similar demo over and over again, hence the repeated images in here. But a couple of different ways to get images in here. The first is you can't actually see. So off screen that I'm currently sharing, I've got some images, and so in opening the image here, I can drag one over and see where it says drop your files here. Now, when I drop and release, that's all you need to do to upload an image into Convertri. There's no extra configuration. You don't need to do any more than that. Or you can click the upload button and you can find one on the local computer. And we did that specifically to make it, because imagery is pretty important. And we wanted to make it as easy as possible to get that into Convertri and have it optimized for you as well. Then on top of that, we've done an integration with Pixabay. So if you want, you can do things like searching for dog, which you saw most people. In fact, let's do the poll. I did the poll during several of the sales demos. Let's do the poll again here. So if you're a dog person, type dog into the chat. If you're a cat person, type cat into the chat. Let's see who wins today. I have to say I'm a cat person, but pretty much every time I did this, dogs won. Let's see who wins today. Oh, you're so a cat. You're so a dog lot. Oh, okay. Cindy wins. Cindy's type chicken. We're going with that. There we go. I did the dog demo lots of times. We're going to take the mystery option and search for chicken. That is not a chicken. That is a swan, but that's quite a cute image. So we're going to put that onto the page. Swan chicken. Fair enough. So that's pulling the image from Pixabay now out, and again, it will be completely optimized. So you don't have to do anything extra, even if you do things like making it really, really big. Some of you may have already seen this demo, but I'm going to do it again anyway. So we're going to publish that. And then you should have the link. And if you don't, I'm going to just share it one more time for you. So anyone who came in late should have the link now. And then when we refresh that, we see our swan image loads just like that, super, super fast. So even though this is a large image, it's really like high fidelity photography, looks really good. Your pages are still going to load quick because Convertri optimizes tons of it. No worries to those people coming in a little late. This is a really laid back, chilled session. We're up to over 250 people on this call now. This is a really laid back training session. It is being recorded. So if you missed a little bit of it, don't worry. No worries there. So again, everything about it freeform, so you can resize it, place it anywhere you like. I'm just going to kind of keep doing the publish demo to help everyone understand that you really can just move stuff around, dump it wherever you want. Imagine this was your logo and you decide you want it on the other hand, you want it on the other side of the screen. Drag it across to the other side, hit publish. And then again, exactly what you see in the editor is exactly what you see on the published page. Makes it super easy to build these pages. And since people didn't see me do it first, so when you hit publish, so the domain that it's published on is, you add domains to Convertri. We can talk about that later. There's guides in the thing. And then whatever you put in this box is the path that appears after it. So obviously I'm andy.convertri.com because I own the company. So I get to be andy.convertri.com. And then because I put in Oct 2019 as in October 2019 /opt-in into this box, that's andy.convertri.com/Oct 2019 /opt-in. So, and for those of you wondering, if you want to publish something to, so if I wanted to publish something just to andy.convertri.com to set the homepage, just leave that box blank, and then that'll publish to the homepage. But I've already got something there, hence we're going to this URL. Cool. So let's get another image in. Just okay. I saw bears was the other one. Who mentioned bears? Harry. Was it Harry? Yeah, Harry mentioned bears, and I like bears, so we're going to put a bear image in it. As well. Oh, polar bears too. Polar bears are awesome. So again, when it's importing from Pixabay, it's doing all the optimization for you. So you don't have to worry about things. You don't have to know about things like quality settings and compression. It's kind of just going to do that for you. And the next thing I want to show you is these nice pink snap lines. So as you drag stuff around, you don't want stuff to be slightly misaligned. So what Convertri does, it provides these snap lines, which means it's really easy to make it line up. So you'll see this one here, like that. And then these appear at the same size. We can make them line up against each other super easily using those snap lines. And another little tip related to these pink lines, if you go into the display menu and turn on element outlines, that's that ticky box there. What this does is it puts these bright pink borders around every element on the page, and that makes it really easy to see what's contained in what else. So in Convertri, it's smart enough to know that when you put one element inside another one, that you kind of want it to move around together. So when I put this Hello World on 29th of October 2019, so if I put it kind of on top of these images like that, and then I move the polar bear, it doesn't move together. Oh, and it's also gone to behind. So we'll just bring these, send those to the back so you see the text is on front. So when I move either of these background images, because it's not completely inside it, I'm just moving the one thing. But if I make, let's say we make our polar bear a bit bigger so it fits, then when I put the text inside it, you see text is now completely inside the polar bear image. And also it helps, the pink lines help you see this because it counts as inside when the pink lines are inside, not say if I do like this, you'll see that looks like the text is inside our polar bear image, but it's not because the element hangs off the edge. So watch when it's hanging off the edge like this and I move the polar bear, you see just the polar bear moves. If, however, I put the text inside this, so we've now got, you see the pink line outside the text is inside the pink line of the polar bear one. Now when I move it, that will all move together. What this means is you can build up more and more complicated sections of your page, more and more complicated elements. Imagine, for example, if this was a testimonial box and you might have a headshot and a name and testimonial text and a background image and a frame. You can have lots of different sections there, combine it into one, and then they move around the page together just as you put them on top of each other. And also, don't worry if you hear a bunch of coughing in the background. That's just the Convertri UX designer quietly dying in the corner. He's also got plague as well. So apologies for this slightly low production values today. Anyway, yeah. So because this is completely contained inside this, it will then move together. And if you ever do need to get it out from underneath, you can hold down the Command key on Mac or the Windows key on Windows, and then drag, and that lets you pull things out from behind. So just to reiterate there, because the pink lines here for this, let's get rid of the swans for a moment. Because the pink lines on the text box are completely inside this pink line for the polar bear, that means they all move together. And we can build that up as well. We can put other stuff. We can put, let's say we put a panel in here. This text is quite hard to read, so I'm going to show you a little trick. We're going to put panel behind the text. Let's make our polar bear a little bit bigger so this fits. Then, first of all, you'll notice that we can't see the text. So we're going to send this, we're going to go send to back, like that, or send backwards rather. So that sends the panel behind this text. And similarly, we could go bring forward, and that brings it forward in front of the text. So we can control, it's referred to as the Z axis, and you can control that layout. It's not just side to side. Now, because the text is inside here and the panel is inside here, when I drag the polar bear, everything moves around together. You don't have to specifically say this is one element, it just moves together automatically. And this is a nice little design tip now. This is called an opacity layer. This is something my girlfriend taught me, in fact. So if we change, you see, when we have, if we get rid of this for a sec, in fact, I will just pull it out like that. See, like this, the text is quite hard to read. Like this, the panel looks quite ugly. So what we can do instead is we can go background color, and then we'll make it a white panel that's, say, 75% opaque, 75% transparent. And I'm just going to turn off those element outlines for a moment. And you can see now, we can still clearly see what the image is behind it, and this looks quite good, but the text is much clearer. It's much, much easier to read. So this is a good tip for your squeeze pages, for your opt-in pages, works for sales pages as well, whatever you're doing. When you want to have this sort of busier imagery behind something, using one of these opacity layers makes the text much, much easier to read. And if somebody's made it easier for them to read, it'll be much more likely they're going to opt in, much more likely they're going to buy. Really, really useful technique. Cool. Yeah. Just sorry. I will stop this. We'll do this a couple more times. But yes, we are live. Yes, there will be a replay. This demo is going to last around half an hour, and I will be hanging around for questions and answers at the end. Cool. Okay. So again, you can see these multiple elements. We have the text down here if we wanted to. Any layout works, and then these move together because they're placed one inside the other. Now let's look at making a simple form. So let's get rid of those bits. And we're going to go with a nice simple colored section on a panel. Now this button here where it says full width, what this does is this is one of the only things in Convertri that responds to the size of the browser. So with most things in Convertri, it is exactly the size and shape that you put it. So if I put this gray box in the middle here at that size, I hit publish, then it is exactly that size and shape on the page. That's true of 99% of things in Convertri. One thing you can do to make it, and mostly we do this because by having that pixel perfect placement, it makes it much, much easier to build the pages. However, in a few cases, particularly when you want colored sections, when you've got a background image that you want to stretch across the page, that's where you actually do want it to be completely full width and touch the edges of the browser. So that's true for, you can see, true for, say, a panel. It's also going to be true for, let's put an image in there. In fact, let's bring our polar bear back, because I like polar bears. And then when we stretch him across the page, make him a bit bigger so we can see his face, you'll see this fills completely, and then I can't really resize my browser because GoToWebinar behaves really badly when I do it. But certainly I'll hit publish, and then if you are following along with that link at home, one more time for anyone coming in now, when we do a refresh, if you want to resize it, you'll see that it stretches to match the edges. Cool, and yeah, bear with me. We'll be doing questions and answers in a bit, not going to take them while we do the demo. Yeah, and Mike's just reminded me. So apologies to everyone that signed up and didn't get a register, an invite link to join the webinar. We've been having some serious problems with GoToWebinar recently. We might have to change how we do these things because honestly, it's been really painful. Like 10–20% of people that signed up for webinars we've run recently just haven't got the link to join it. It's starting to get a bit painful. So apologies if you were one of them. All right. The polar bear's more interesting. Normally I do this with just a colored section. We're going to do it with the polar bear today. Then we'll give ourselves a panel to work on top of. We'll apply that same technique I talked about before. So we're going to make it a white panel, and we're going to make it 75% roughly opacity. Sign up now to claim your completely free ebook all about polar bears. It's awesome. So this is our text element. Obviously, we can make this chunk wider. We've already done text. I'm not going to dwell on this too much, but we'll just make it. We can make the text bigger. We can pick a more interesting font. it's centered, etc., etc. Then form elements from here. Usual thing to do is we're going to capture first name, email, and then we need a submit button. And again, you see it's super easy to get these things to line up because of these snap lines Convertri provides. So it ends up in the middle just because, in fact, let's move these out of the way for a moment. So you see this first one I've lined up to hit that middle snap line. This next one, I move it up until it snaps into place with the pink, and it's automatically snapped into place against the left. And the same thing here, as I move it up and towards it, you'll see it snaps into place nicely. And we've also got these alignment tools. This is really cool. This is something I think only us and Instapage have, which lets you do fancy alignment. So you can say select. I'll just turn that off for a second. Let's say we had this messed around like so. Select our 3 elements, and then these alignment tools let you do so we can do center align, and that lines them up like so. And then distribute vertically, spaces them out evenly like that. Super easy way to lay out your page and get these consistent gaps, which make your design just look that bit better. Cool, and again, quick reminder, when you hit publish, everything is live straight away and it loads really, 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 really fast, which will help your conversion rates massively. Cool, so this is about as simple a squeeze page as you can possibly build. You probably want some note about terms and conditions. It will certainly help to have an image of whatever you're giving away rather than just an image like a polar bear in the background. But don't overcomplicate it. This is not dissimilar to a squeeze page we made ourselves. One of the niches that we do some marketing in is the vegan niche. We do vegan recipes, and we do it as a demonstration to kind of show that the techniques that we teach as part of working with Convertri work in just about any market you want them to. And the reason we picked vegans is that Neil and myself, we're quite big meat eaters, and we wanted it to be a really dissociated demonstration of marketing. So one of the complaints we get a lot is, oh, you know, this digital marketing stuff, it only works if you're selling digital marketing to digital marketers. It really doesn't. You can use it in just about any market. And by generating a marketing list in the vegan niche, it was our way of demonstrating that you can build lists in any market, even a market you don't necessarily know that much about yourself. So if you're doing this kind of marketing for clients, you really can get stuck in, and these techniques will work. It doesn't have to just be digital marketing, and it certainly doesn't have to be something that you're an absolute expert in. Really doesn't need to be. So this is very similar to a squeeze page we built in that vegan niche. For that we have, in fact, I've probably got the saved in here. There we go. This is our ebook cover that we used for that. So it doesn't go with this design whatsoever, but you can see this was our opt-in, and it was the background, instead of being our polar bear here, was, let me just open this up so I can show you. Was this blueberry image. So it was that, and the heading pretty much matched the seven nutrients thing, and that's pretty much the squeeze page we went with. You'll be surprised. The opt-in was like something like sign up now to claim your ebook on 7 nutrients vegans need and how to get them, and that literally was the whole squeeze page. So that's all you need. And then we ran Facebook ad traffic at that, and we generated opt-in leads for about $1 each. It was about $1, $1.10, and then we upsold them a simple recipe book and broke even on the cost of the traffic. So we were effectively building that list completely for free. So it's very cool. But the reason I lean in on this is I know it's very easy, particularly when you're just getting started, or particularly whether you're new to Convertri or new to digital marketing at all. It's very easy to overcomplicate these things. It's very easy to think you need a million different moving parts and very complicated pages. You really don't. Simple squeeze page, make them an offer, make them a free thing. The ebook, in this case, this was PLR that we bought from a site. It was good stuff. Cost us a little bit of money, but not much. We made the squeeze page ourselves, and then we ran some ads at it. Really is that simple. Please don't overcomplicate it. I'm here to show you some of the more complicated bits of the tool, but don't overcomplicate the marketing. It just doesn't need it. Cool. Yeah. Yes, it's live. Yes, there'll be a replay. About half an hour's worth of demonstration, then a Q&A session. Right. Okay. Let's do a couple more shortcut keys. So get rid of this for a second. Get rid of. In fact, that can stay there. Okay. So I showed you before how because the text has been placed on top of this box, and again we'll turn on the element outlines. Just to reiterate what I said before, because this text is completely inside this box, you'll see this pink line here is inside the pink line of the box. Everything moves together. Be careful. So if the text looks like it's inside the box, if I turn off element outlines, here it looks like the text is inside the box, but because the outline is outside it, it won't move together. So when I move this one, you'll see the text didn't go with it. However, put it back to where it was, start dragging again, you'll see this text is inside here, everything moves together. Now, one of the coolest parts of this is you won't be able to see this, but I'll just tell you what I'm doing. If you hold down the Alt key on a Windows keyboard, the Option key on a Mac, and then drag something, you get a copy of everything that you've just dragged. So in this case, we've got a copy of our opt-in form, but imagine you built out a fancy testimonial box or a fancy product description box or something with multiple different components. Cloning it to have another one on the page is as easy as holding down the Alt key or the Option key and dragging something. So just to show that again, I'm holding down the Alt key, it's an Option key because I'm on a Mac, and we drag, and we get a whole nother one of those. And in fact, I'm going to create a few of these as part of the next demo, which is using the Shift key. So two things we can use the Shift key for. The first is to do multiple selection. So let's say I want to select the 3 form elements. So we've got first name, email, and submit. You can do multiple selection to edit them, move them together, etc. Then the Shift key is also used for something else. And this is, I think this is something unique to us of the freeform page builders that I know of. So this is the ability to put additional stuff higher up a page without moving everything down individually. So this feature dates back to the original release of Convertri. We did the original beta release where the editor worked fairly similar to how you're seeing now. It's a pretty good idea in theory. One of the most frustrating things is, let's say you've put these boxes where we've got them on the screen, and you're like, oh, I wanted to put a headline, I wanted to put something at the top of the page, and now it won't fit. And that happened a load during our initial beta testing, and everyone was literally sat there dragging every single element down. You know, we've seen how containment works, so it'd be like you'd have to drag this one, then we drag this one, then we drag this one. But, rather what we added is if I hold the Shift key down, then when I drag this, you'll see everything below the top line of this one moves together with it. So we can create some additional space, chuck it out the way. We can stick another panel on here, blah, 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 do something like that, make it full width. I've seen this bit several times now, so I won't dwell on it. There we go, and in fact, that looks a bit naff to me. That looks like it's, yeah, there we go. Make it a bit transparent. We can put in additional headlines. This is additional headline up here, etc., etc. Then I hold the Shift key down again and I drag this up, and not just this one, but everything below it comes with it. So imagine you've built quite a long form sales page. The Convertri sales page that we used recently was a great example. That was 45,000 pixels long. Sometimes you need to edit stuff right at the top of the page. It's really, really annoying to have to move everything individually. So again, hold the Shift key, drag something, and everything below its top line. So let's put another panel over here just to demonstrate how it works. So because this one is below the top line of the thing I'm dragging, it will drag with it, create space for everything on the page, do the operation higher up, close the space up, makes that really quick and easy to do. So just to repeat those keyboard shortcuts, because they're basically impossible to discover on your own unless you're the kind of person that holds down every key to see what's going to happen. You just won't discover these on your own. So we try and introduce them on calls like this. So the first one is holding down the Command key on Mac or the Windows key on Windows. That will let you move something out from behind. So you see here, if I'm not holding it and I drag, this all comes together. If I hold down Windows or Command, it lets me pull the thing out from behind it. Holding down Alt and dragging, or Option on a Mac and dragging, gives me a copy of everything that's dragged. And holding down Shift lets me drag not just the thing down, but everything below its top line to create space. And hopefully that'll make your page building just a little bit quicker and easier. Right, excuse me 1 second. Okay, so we've covered the main elements. We've had a look at opacity layers. We've talked about containment. We've talked about shortcut keys. Let's talk about layers. So layers is something, again, I think it's unique to Convertri. In most builder tools, you can kind of have like the opt-in layer or the something layer. In Convertri, it's incredibly flexible and you can build all kinds of different variations. So what we're going to do to start with is build a sticky header. Cool, loads of questions about those shortcut keys. We'll come back to it and talk about it in the question and answer section in a bit. So let's create a new layer. We'll call this sticky header. Now you're only working on one at a time. So let's select that. So we're now working on the layer. So when I put, let's say I put a panel on the page, I'll make it nice and large so it's obvious what's going on. Whereas all of those elements we had before, when I scroll the page, they're relative to where we're scrolled. Stuff that you put in a layer is relative to the viewport. So you'll see as I scroll, the stuff behind it moves, but this doesn't. So this lets us build things like pop-up opt-in forms. We can do exit intent pop-ups. We can do things like sticky headers. So if I stick this right at the top of the page, we'll go full width and put some text on it. So this is a sticky header. So now, because this is on a layer, and I'll show you in the publish window as well. Oh, and need to turn that on, so we'll start visible, republish it. So again, because this sticky header is like that, although the content of the page moves as I scroll, that sticky header will stay in exactly the same place because it's on a layer. You can do exactly the same effect. So we're operating on this layer. We could say align bottom. So now what's going to happen with this is that will stick to the bottom of the viewport. So again, I can show you in the editor as I scroll, this will stay stuck to the bottom of the screen. So this is great if you want to have, say you've got a longer sales page and you want to have, in fact, this is exactly what we just did on our recent Convertri promotion. We had a timer in that layer counting down to when the promotion was going to end. So wherever they were reading on the page, they could always see that countdown timer counting down. It's a really powerful effect. And again, you can align it to the bottom or top of the viewport. And you can also use it for things like, let's turn this one off and create another one. So we'll call this opt-in. And this works in exactly the same way. So you can, for example, if we didn't have the form on the page itself, we can put the form onto an opt-in layer. So we might have, let's reuse our ebook image. Then form, first name, email, submit button. And we probably have some text above it, all that good stuff. But you've seen me editing text enough. So I can publish that. And I've probably not set that to be. So we'll make it start visible just to make it easier to see. And again, that's now stuck over the top. And we can also do clever things like using our actions and events system to show it. So let's turn that off for a moment. And in fact, so this layer is going to start hidden. We'll get rid of first name and email. We'll get rid of these other ones as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wire it up. So when this button is pushed, that layer fades in. So under element properties, actions and events, I'm going to add an action. So the event type is click. So when they click on that button, we want an action to happen. The action we want is show, and we're going to fade in. And the thing we want to fade in is the opt-in layer. So just to go over that again, we've selected the button. Then we set a click event that is going to show fade in the opt-in layer. So when we publish that, and also just to reiterate, this opt-in layer has been set to start hidden. So it won't display when we initially load up the page. However, when we click this button, that layer can fade in, and that lets us create that nice two-step opt-in effect. So you can create that micro commitment. You can have them click on the button. They don't see the form. They don't automatically think, oh, this is a marketing page. It lets them read more of the details. Then when they click, give me the thing, that's when we open up the boxes to say, give us your first name and email. And then we'll send you this guide. So that's a nice little cool two-step opt-in effect there. Cool, I've been rambling on, demoing things for a good inside the editor for, well, we started about 40 minutes ago. So I'm going to have a look. I'm going to have a look down the question and answer thing and try and get through some of these questions. So if you've got questions you've been holding off, please feel free to start typing into the chat box now. I'm going to go back to the start, see what I missed. If I do miss something, don't freak out. I will try and get through everything. Cool. Oh, and thanks for all the kind words about my feeling fluey today. I appreciate them. They've been coming up a lot when I've repeated that, so thank you. Wow, GoToWebinar's question and answer boxes are terrible for this stuff. Cool. Okay, so adding custom domains. The first thing to note is that adding a custom domain can be a little bit technical. So we are set up to help you if you drop an email to support@convertri.com. But if you're trying to add a domain that isn't, so you don't want to use, in my case, andy.convertri.com, you'll have your own when you signed up. If you want to add another one, then you do it under account, domains, and most likely what you want to do is click add Convertri to your domain. So you click on that and it will walk you through how to do the setup. But as noted, because it involves messing with DNS settings, it may go wrong for you. It is a bit technical. It is quite a confusing one. So if you do need a bit of help, do drop us an email to support@convertri.com so we can give you a hand with it. Cool. This is sorry. I've scanned back up. I've scanned back up to the top of the questions and answer stuff, and most of this is people saying hello. So I'm just trying to read through to get to the ones. So the arrows on the Convertri demo funnel. Is this the one? Okay. So this is one I prepared earlier. There we go. So the arrow here, what this does is this informs the form system on the page. So when I edit this, and there are guides on the knowledge base all about this. So if you don't follow what I'm saying here, A, there will be a replay of this, and B, there are additional guides. So don't worry, you don't have to get it just from this one thing. But so if we go into the forms box, then we can connect our page to, just trying to work out which autoresponders I've wired up here. So when we select, say, MailChimp as our thing, we also need to set a thank you page URL. Now, because I drew that arrow to the other published page, this has been filled in automatically. But we could change this. We can send the people anywhere. So I could send them to like google.co.uk if I wanted to. You can send people that fill in the form anywhere you want. But because we've drawn, sorry, I should have opened, let's open a second one. So because we've drawn this arrow from this page to this thank you page that we've already published, then the URL of that thank you page is already filled in as the place we want to send them when they submit the form. So again, drawing that arrow there here tells it to put the URL of this thank you page in this box, so it's automatically connected up for you. But you can send them anywhere you want. You don't have to send them to another Convertri page. Cool. Hey, Latoya. So Latoya is asking, if you use the WordPress plugin, does it still count as page impressions against the limits on Convertri? Yes, it does. So the WordPress plugin, it puts what's called an iframe on the page, which is basically showing one web page inside another. And so what we're doing there is, even though like your WordPress blog is on some other domain and you've got like yoursomething.convertri.com even though it's on a separate domain, all the plugin is doing is showing your Convertri page inside that other page, but it's still displaying the stuff off our servers, and so they'll still count against your page impressions. Okay, that's where we did the cat versus dog thing, and somebody typed in chicken and we went swan because that's the kind of person I am, and somebody else said bears. So you're all awesome. We talked about the URLs. Hey, Dave. So Dave says, will you be warned if a page already exists at the path you type when publishing? Yeah, absolutely. So Convertri won't let you overwrite something else, another page that's already published. So you don't have to worry about like breaking something you've already published. Hey, Joanne, great question, Joanne. So Joanne's asking about the purpose of these blue guidelines. Okay, so these blue guidelines are set 960 pixels apart, which when we first designed Convertri was kind of like the de facto standard for design pages that fit within those lines and you won't really go wrong. In 4 years, monitors have got a load bigger. It's rare to need to design purely inside 960. So we have made it possible to make these guides wider, and you should feel safe to put things a bit outside it. But basically, the way Convertri works, because stuff is fixed in exactly the place you put it, if you were to put something really far off to the right, like say like this, and they come in with a monitor smaller than that, the edges of that won't be visible. So if you design inside the blue guidelines, your stuff will show up absolutely on like 99% of devices absolutely perfectly, unless they've got some like VGA monitor from the mid 1980s, your stuff will show up fine. You can go outside. So these are 960 apart. You can go up to about 1280 in terms of width. That's I think roughly what my browser's set to here. And you're still talking like about 96% of people will see your page exactly as you design it. But the further you go outside those lines, the more and more people will have either too small a monitor or the browser not full screen and not quite able to see everything. So try not to go too far outside those lines. Otherwise, some people won't be able to see it. And if in doubt, design within them. It'll still look great on everything. And for most things, particularly like squeeze pages, there's no real reason not to. You just don't have that much to get onto a page. Hey, Chip's asking about how to embed a form from something like Cognito Forms or WooForm. So for most stuff like that, we have the custom HTML element. So that's this one here. So when you drag this in and then click on edit HTML. So this is drag it in, select it, click on edit HTML. You can dump whatever your code is from, like if you've got a form generator, if you've got like a widget from another app, most stuff that you want, as long as it's like HTML and JavaScript, you can dump it into that box and then it'll display on the page where you put it. So that's good for like chatbots, chat widgets, forms from other services, just about anything like that that you could want to get in there. Like a lot of sort of appointment booking stuff works this way. So that's how you get third-party stuff into a Convertri page. Hey, Roger. Roger's asking about advertorial templates. We made one a while ago, and I can't remember what happened to it. I don't know whether we used it as a bonus for something or if it loaded up in the app. I will find out for you, though. Cool. Okay, so creating websites rather than just single pages. So Convertri is good for, I mean, you can build absolutely massive sites in Convertri if you want to. Probably the biggest site that anyone's ever built was 270 pages big. It was absolutely monstrously huge. The guy basically designed a blog inside Convertri. Now, keep in mind, Convertri doesn't support blogging. He built, it had like recent posts, it had next and previous links, it had pagination, it had everything like that design inside it. And the page was 270 pages big. Sorry, the site was 270 pages big. It was absolutely huge. And maintaining it takes quite a lot of work. Generally speaking, we don't recommend that for non-crazy people. For regular strength, non-insane people, generally like sites up to about 10, 20 pages, super easy to maintain in Convertri, because the main thing that you have to do is you'll need to maintain the menus across each of the pages individually. So although you can build the menu once and then clone it to the other pages, if you ever update that header, you will need to update it in each place. So obviously every page you add is an extra bit of work when you need to modify it. But certainly, again, 10, 20 pages, you'll find the maintenance really easy to do. And you can use something, for example, like that sticky header that I demonstrated before. You can put your menu on it. Just although this is text, this could just as easily be item 1. In fact, I'll clone it like I showed you before. We could just as easily create our menu like this across the top. And then use this on multiple pages to create a simple site inside Convertri. Hey, Helson's asking if you can create custom forms if you're using a different autoresponder. Yeah, so Convertri is compatible with most autoresponders. Like, I can't absolutely guarantee it's going to work. We put quite a lot of effort into this, so it works with most of them. So, oh, hang on, let me just disconnect MailChimp so I can show you. So, if your autoresponder isn't shown inside Convertri, if it isn't one we've integrated yet, chances are we're working on integrating it to try and integrate everything. But if you find not, then you can click on HTML forms and add form from HTML code, this one here. Then what that lets you do is copy and paste the HTML that your other autoresponder, for example, gives you into Convertri, and then still use our page designer, and it'll work with that. It does require a little bit more effort, though. You will need to copy and paste stuff from your autoresponder into this, and you will also need to do things like setting the thank you page. That will be set by your autoresponder, not via Convertri. But it is possible to set up pretty much any service, even if we've not done an API integration yet. Cool. Several people were asking about two-step opt-ins. Hopefully I covered that when I did the layer demonstration. Hey, Steve. Steve's asking if we actually host the pages. So yes, we host the pages, we host the images. If you're on the Pro plan, we also host the videos. So we will host all of that stuff for you. You can point your domain to Convertri, and then we host every part of what you're looking at. So you don't need a separate server in order to run Convertri pages. We take care of all of that for you. And in doing so, that's part of how we make it work so fast. For example, in order to get your content as close to the end user as possible, we put page data in 3 separate data centers. So when I click publish here and click publish, what this is doing is it's sending that page data not just to one place, but it's putting it on the east coast of the US, it's putting it in Belgium, and it's putting it in Singapore, which means no matter where in the world you are, there is a pretty reasonably close data center to get the page data. And then the images, because they're obviously bigger and there's more of them, we don't just put them in 3 data centers, we put them in 27 data centers spread all over the world. There's I don't have a map to hand, but there's an absolute ton of them, 27 scattered all over the globe. So your images are super, super close to the user, which means you don't have that delay of, say, somebody in, like myself, the UK, having to wait for that data to get all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, which adds about half a second to the page load time. We put that data so much closer. And so hence we host everything. And in doing so, that's how we're able to make it work so fast. So if you want to capture data that isn't one of the default inputs, for example, Holger's asking about address elements. So when we put text input on the page, that's this one here, text input. This is a generic box. And then, oh, hang on one moment. I just need to wire up MailChimp again so I can show you the contents of this. Okay, so I've put a text input onto the page. And then this is a generic one that we can tell Convertri is any data type in this box. So we can say we can capture title, first name, last name, middle names, full name, phone number, address data, city, state, country, zip code, etc. So you can get that extra information you need from a field on the page. Or if you're selling a product, then we have a built-in, we refer to it as the modal checkout. And so you can have a buy button on the page that just pops up that modal checkout and just has all of that stuff pre-enabled. You don't have to build the checkout form yourself if you don't want to. And to be honest, generally we recommend people don't. It's a lot of extra work for not much gain. Cool. Wow. It's instantly cool. Sorry, I'm reading through this just to put this in context. The reason it's taking me a little while on each of these. There's currently 281 people live on this call, and lots of people saying really cool things in the chat box. So first of all, thank you very much for that. But secondly, apologies that it's taken me a little while in between questions because there's lots of just general commentary in between the questions as well. So I'm trying to pull them out. And apologies if I missed stuff. So you can use any Google font. We've got a direct API integration with Google Fonts. Sorry, this is for Luke. You can use any Google font you like. Something we don't support at the moment is custom font uploads, because they're quite hard to. We're probably going to enable this at some point, because people really want it. But it's there's a bit of sort of like personal responsibility. A, that you're not like cheating and violating people's copyright with fonts, and B, that certain fonts don't work that well across devices. And historically, people tend to blame us in situations like that when stuff like that doesn't just work. So we know the Google fonts will work pretty consistently on any device, but with custom fonts, we can't guarantee it. But we're taking more of a view with stuff like that we want to give people the power to do it. And we trust you guys. You're all smart people. Hey, so Sarah's asking if you can adjust the rotation of an image. That's something we don't support at the moment. It's something we look into periodically, and it looks like it's becoming more doable now. So certainly when we started 4 years ago, images is usually the thing people want to do, but setting rotation of stuff on web pages was ridiculously inconsistent across browsers. So in order to make your pages work kind of exactly how you see them in the editor when you hit publish, but on as many devices as possible, we had to omit that feature because we just couldn't guarantee it would work consistently. Now it seems most stuff supports it fairly reliably, so we're starting to look into how to do that one now, but it's not done at the moment, certainly. Hey, Valerie's asking about page templates. So page templates appear in a couple of places. So when you click on new page, then you will see the list of page templates. And when under campaigns, you click on create a new funnel, you'll see the list of funnel templates. And this is quite an important one for me to stress. So a lot of people, there's at least, I think it's at least 45 page templates, probably more now, in the base version. And there's obviously not 45 funnel templates. There's 45 full pages and a ton of funnel templates here. But it's really easy to think there's stuff missing. So there's a chunk of full funnels when you click create funnel, but also when you're inside Convertri demo funnel and click new page, you will see all of these page templates as well, of which there are many. Apologies, a couple of people have stuck questions into the chat about billing issues. If you have got a billing issue, two things. Well, first of all, sorry. Stuff goes wrong, we promise we will fix it. And also I realize it's frustrating, like if you've contacted our support about it and not heard back yet. We have had last week was incredibly successful for us. Tons of people talked about us. We've brought over 1,000 new people onto the platform, which is really, really exciting. It's so good. We get to share it with so many more people, but it has generated a glut of support. We are a bit behind on it. So if you have sent a question to support, particularly if it's a billing issue, I am really sorry it's happened. But please know we're working towards it. We're not just ignoring you. And apologies, I can't look into specific like billing things on a live call. I certainly can't log into like live payment stuff while I'm on a call. But if you have emailed support@convertri.com, make sure you get so if you email support@convertri.com, you should get an auto response message from us, which sort of, it'll point you to the knowledge base and stuff like that. But that's the key indicator that we've received it. If we received it, we do reply to everything we get. Normally we reply within 1 working day, usually a lot quicker. At the moment, it is taking us a couple of days and a couple of working days to get through it. The entire support team, myself included, my business partner, just about everyone, all the development team, we were all in like 14 hours a day over the weekend helping clear it down. But we are behind, so sorry about that. Oh, hey, Magnus. Question like, what's a squeeze page? That's quite a good question. Let me go back to this. So a squeeze page is marketing industry terminology for any page designed to capture somebody's details. So capture sounds like really horrific. Lots of marketing terms are really, really bad imagery. So you've got something cool to give away and you want people's, say, name and email address in exchange for it. So any page that lets them put the details into a box and then get the freebie sent to them, that's a squeeze page. So in this case, what we've built is this is a squeeze page for this freebie ebook called 7 Nutrients Vegans Need and How to Get Them. So somebody could, like I didn't wire up the PDF delivery on here, but on the live version of this, they put their name and email into the box, they submit, we get that data onto our autoresponder list, and they get sent the freebie to their email address so that they can download it. And then we show them an offer for a recipe book. But that's what a squeeze page is. Hey, Dan. Oh, great question. So at the moment, you're okay. So first of all, we have a selection of we call them collections. So collections are sort of lumps of a page. So let me just close this out for a second. Go back into the editor. So collections let you put things like testimonial boxes, headers, like pre-built stuff onto your page. I should note that those I'm not going to spend too long on this because those are in the pro package, and I'm trying to make this a really accessible demo for everyone. But in terms of those collections, they're on the pro package for the pre-done ones. And one thing we've currently got in development is the ability to make and save your own. So a collection being like a group of elements together, you should be able to save those at some point. Convertri pages shown on a WordPress blog can't use WordPress plugins. All the WordPress plugin can do is display a Convertri page. So, sorry, this is for John. So you can't use those WordPress plugins to affect the page. All you can do is use the Convertri WordPress plugin to show a Convertri page on your WordPress blog. Hey, Terry. Terry's asking about how to get images to pop up in a lightbox when clicked. So just about any sort of, we'll call them behaviors that you want to make happen can be done with Convertri's layers and the actions and event system. So just like on this button, I set an event to show a layer when it's faded in. This button could be an image. So instead of clicking on the button, we click on an image. And then instead of showing an opt-in form, I could show a larger version of the image. So just about any behavior that you want to achieve like that can be done through the actions and events section. Oh, quick. Two quick things. One, there's 260 people on live. I'm about halfway through the questions. I'm answering stuff from 3:30, which is 40 minutes ago. So that means there's a long list of stuff to get through. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay and answer stuff. But just so if you've just typed in a question, you're wondering, like, why isn't Andy talking to me? Andy's currently not talking to you because I'm answering questions from 40 minutes ago. So please don't think I'm ignoring you. And secondly, when you ask a question, please don't put it across multiple entries, because GoToWebinar just shows me like literally one thing you send at a time. So if you put it in multiple things, I cannot match them up at all. Oh, cool. So if you want to set but both social settings and various meta info. You can do that under, so page thing, page menu, and then meta info. This lets you set SEO stuff, so page titles, page descriptions, any of the social settings you want to do. That's all under the page menu. So the shortcut keys that I was talking about earlier, there is a list of them on our knowledge base, help.convertri.com. However, in our experience, they're not amazingly easy to find because it's people rarely search a knowledge base for shortcut keys. So they'll come up if you happen to search for like the very specific thing they do, but they're quite hard to discover. That's why we try and introduce them to people on calls like this. Thanks, Helton. Helton said that this is ridiculously time-saving and badass. That I have to say, it's comments like that that make this worthwhile. So I have to say, my throat is very raw right now. I'm feeling quite fluey, but I promised you guys a webinar, so I wanted to be here. Seeing comments like that really make my day. So thank you very much. Oh, hey Matthias, that's a great question. So Matthias asks, what do I have to consider if I want to publish all pages in German? Okay, so Convertri works with will support like English characters pretty much perfectly. You type into the box, you hit publish, it just works. If you need to use a non-English character, such as like a vowel with an umlaut in German, I say channeling my GCSE level 15-year-old knowledge of the German language. So if you've got a vowel with an umlaut as an example, or in French, you've got like an e acute, characters like that, you can't just type directly into Convertri. We're not fully compatible with them. You have to copy and paste them into a text box from another app, which makes it quite clunky to use. And in terms of foreign languages that are right to left, we don't support those at all. So if you want to publish in Hebrew, I'm afraid you can't use Convertri. So that English characters pretty much perfectly. Characters that are like variations on that, so like things with accented English characters, like a U with an umlaut, an E with an accent, those you will need to copy and paste in from another app, and right to left languages like Hebrew we don't support. Oh yeah, thanks, Dave. Dave's brought up a really cool feature of Convertri that I didn't focus on enough. So we're gonna pop out of here and create a new page. So I can talk a bit about the mobile version. So in the same way as laying out your pages in Convertri is easier if you put, say, a panel behind things to move it around together, when you put panels behind stuff, it will also mobilize together. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let's bring our polar bear back because he's cool. Go, Mr. Polar Bear. Whoops. Oh, there you go. And to whoever was asking earlier about will Convertri let you overwrite stuff? No, it won't. It protects you from yourself, like I've done just there. So it wouldn't let me overwrite the home page because I already have one. So this is mobile demo. So we have our polar bear. When we go to the mobile mode, we have a mobile polar bear. Then we have a panel. Let's do it on this side, so it's a bit easier to see. Background color, you saw me do this lots of times before, so I won't dwell on what I'm doing. Blah, 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 opacity, see the polar bear through it. So now when we go to mobile, we've got mobile polar bear and we've got the opacity layer over the top. Then when we put text on here, so this is say hello to the cool polar bear. Now, because this panel is inside the polar bear image, and then the text is inside the panel, that's how it will mobilize. So when we click on mobile, we'll see we've got the text inside the opacity layer, inside the image. And that's true of, let's put some more text in here. So this is some more text. Now, again, because this text is inside this and this one is also inside this, remember, you can turn on element outlines to help you see what's contained inside what. They will all mobilize together because they're being grouped together by this panel. If we were to move some of the text outside of it, then when we mobilize it, because this text is now outside and over here, it ends up beneath it. So what this shows you is that you can use panels to get stuff to group together. So not only does this, if I put this text in here, if I move this panel around, not only does it move together, when you check the mobile mode, it'll also group it together because you put it inside that panel. So again, polar bear, opacity section, and then the text, and they are together in the mobile area because we've put them in that. And if we move stuff outside that, then it's going to show up outside there. So you can use panels to group stuff together, not only to move stuff around, but to make it appear together more easily on the mobile version. I like how this works when I'm so the section I'm reading of the question and answer box right now is from 20 to 4, so about 40 minutes ago at this point. Obviously it said something quite cool because a load of people have typed in things like, I like that, that's really cool, that's excellent. And I've no idea what I was saying at about 20 to 4, but I'm glad you guys really liked it. Yep, just to reiterate, so yes, we are live, yes, there will be a replay. Hey Vita, so yeah, if you're selling, so Convertri pages are designed to sell a single product from them. We do something called product groups, which lets you sell, so somebody can pick from one of a few variants, but that's more useful if you say had like red t-shirts, green t-shirts, blue t-shirts. It works better for that. If you've got 4 separate products, then if you have one sales page that talks about all of them, which isn't necessarily the best idea, that's not how funnels tend to work, but if you did have that, then you'd want to create a different checkout page for each of those products, because each Convertri page can only ultimately sell a single product. Oh, hey Tim. Yes, yeah, so I did the demonstration before. I'll just hit publish on this so it saves. In fact, that's something worth talking about. So the difference between save and publish. I'll talk about closing opt-ins in a sec. When you hit save, that will save the local version in the editor. When you hit publish, it will save the local version in the editor and put it live. So let's say you're working on a bunch of changes that you don't want to make live yet, just hit save. Or perhaps if you've got your virtual assistant working on it for you, they can hit save and then you can hit publish later. So save lets you save what's in the editor, and then publish will put it live. But where this is confusing is this works similar but a bit different to things like WordPress. So it's not that once you've hit published, hitting save, even if you've hit publish, hitting save doesn't update the live version. So if we publish the old version and hit save, that will save what's in the editor, but those changes won't be put live. So when you want to put those changes live, hit the publish button. Okay, now let's go back to our sticky layer. So this is our opt-in layer. We're working on, one of the things we're working on as part of the collections I was talking about is pre-built layers, so kind of pre-built opt-in forms that you can just start using to make this a bit easier. But in the meantime, you can build in a way for them to close this. So you could have, say, an image of an X and text that's an X. Let's do literally just a big X for now. So it's an X. Okay, centered. Make the thing bold so it's nice and easy to see. So we've got our X in the corner, and then exactly the same kind of as we used to show it, we can do it in reverse. So we can add a new action when that element is clicked on. So on click, the action is going to be to hide in this case. We're going to fade it out, and we'll fade out the opt-in layer. So by doing that, we've now built a way for them to close that layer as well. So I did that a little bit quick, so I'll just do that one more time. So we've put this could be an image, this could be a panel, this could be anything. And we set up actions and events on it. And what we've done, actually I'll edit on this. So the event type is click. So when somebody clicks on that X, what we want to happen is we want to fade out the opt-in layer. So when someone clicks on that X, this layer here is going to fade out and it will no longer be shown. So Convertri is pretty powerful in this way. So you're free to wire up this stuff in just about any combination that you want. It's pretty powerful, but it does require a little bit of extra setup. Hey, Gene. Just to be clear, the question I'm about to answer is related to pro features. So I'll try not to do too many of these today, but since somebody's asked a question, I will answer it. So you can't currently use videos uploaded to Convertri hosting with the background video, and that's purely because we're just working out how best to make it work. So when you put a video onto the page, you can choose between video, which is our new video player that we've added, or background video. And we're still working out whether we need to combine these. So a background video is like a video player with none of the controls, none of the anything, but it's all in one, or whether we want to keep them separate. And if we do that, we need to wire up the video hosting into background video. So you can safely presume this is something we're going to enable in the very near future, but you can't currently make that connection. Apologies for that. Oh, hey guys. Also, so quite a few people have asked about auto webinars, which was one of the upsells in the recent offer. I'll be running a separate training session on that. I'm trying to keep this one to stuff in the standard package, and we'll cover auto webinars in a separate session, which we'll either do a separate session or a bunch of in-depth training videos, depending on what people are after. But rest assured, we will cover that. But I want to do that in a separate way, just so we don't have. So this is kind of accessible. This is for everyone, and we'll do something separate for people that bought that. Cool. So, hey, Jamie, let's talk about how to add a video. So let me just hide this layer for a moment. So, no, I don't want that one. What I want is video. So you put a video, that's the video player onto the page. Now, if you are a pro user or above, then we'll also host the video. But if you're not, then it's very easy to put a video file somewhere and host it yourself. We've got, I won't talk about that here, but we've written a guide specifically for it because we knew it would come up. So if you go to help.convertri.com, there's a PDF guide on how to upload videos to S3. But you drop the player onto the page, and then under element properties, where it says video source, that's where you need to copy and paste the URL of wherever your video is. So again, if you are a pro user, we're hosting the video for you. Just click on select your video. But if you're not, again, you don't need to be, certainly nobody's forcing you, then you can host your video somewhere else. We've got guides on how to do it. And then you put the URL of where the video is into that box, and then the video player will play it. It's as easy as that. Good question, Patrick. So Patrick's asking preferred resolutions for videos hosted in S3. So videos you host yourself Generally, I'd go for 720p. That's a good trade-off of like full HD at 1080 tends to be too big for a lot of connections. So you'll have a lot of buffering issues with people watching it. If you go below 720, then like obviously the lower the resolution you go, the more reliably it's going to play. The higher the resolution you go, the less reliably it will play. But the higher the resolution, the better it will look. 720p tends to be the good trade-off for quality versus how many people will watch it. If you want to skew it the other way and go for sort of like everyone will be able to watch it, but it won't look quite as good, then 360 or 480 tends to be the resolution to go for. Yeah, a few people asking about the our page importer. So I'll do the same demo, in fact, that I did on a few like sales demonstrations. So this is Thrive Themes. This is a WordPress site, or rather, this is a WordPress theme company. They're really cool. I know the owners. They make some absolutely amazing themes. The reason I use them in these demos is because it kind of shows that it's importing a page that I can't possibly have any control over. So we're not just importing a Convertri page into Convertri. We're importing a completely live, separate page that we had no way to control. So the way you do it is, so inside a funnel, click Import Page, copy the URL into here. Now, this is for importing stuff that you or your clients have like the rights to. Please don't go out there and violate a load of people's copyrights. I'm using Thrive Themes purely for demonstration purposes, and then I'll delete it. I'm not actually going to use their live sales page. So this is import demo. So Convertri will go, in fact, let me scroll up and down this page. So while it does its thing, so that's going to read all the text on the page, all the images, work out how to lay it all out, bring it into Convertri. So this is the page we're importing. So that's what we're going for. Then we come back over here. Oh, it's nearly done. So it's importing and optimizing all of the images, setting it all up. And then when we go into the editor, let's have a look and see how it did. So this is now it opening the editor. You see it's messed up the testimonial boxes a fair bit. There's the text on this button is wrong. Several of the buttons are in fact wrong, but I think you'll agree it's done a pretty good job of importing this page ready for editing. And the key point about this is that it is ready for editing. So this isn't just one giant image. It's not cheated or anything. This is now in Convertri ready to go. So I could change this text to say they're now a happiness-focused WordPress and themes and plugins. I could delete this text box entirely. We could relay stuff out. So we can put, we don't just want to do that, we want the button. So we'll move the button over here, move the text box over here. We can pop this on that side. So you're completely free to change the layout of this page however you like, and then you can publish obviously on your own domain. And that's true of any text down here. Make this word bold, for example. You can edit any part of the page you like and publish on your own domain. So that's the page importer. Cool, we're up to about 3:45 on the timestamps of the questions I'm answering, which is a good 45 minutes ago. So it's really cool. There's still 230 people live on this call. I'm happy to hang around. I will answer all of your questions. However, please bear with me since, the questions being asked now probably aren't going to be answered for quite a little while yet. And I'm probably going to have to make myself a drink at some point because my throat's very painful today. Oh, hey, John. John Lilly, in fact, since John's quite a common name. So if you want to set an image that appears kind of behind the page, even when they're scrolling, you can go into the page menu and then set under background image under here. So if we wanted to, this is going to look terrible with the other stuff on top of it, but I'll show you anyway. So if we can put our polar bear back behind there, and I'll get rid of that. Whoops. I will. Here we go. Get rid of that and still leave this other stuff on top. I'm trying to just delete the one thing. There we go. So now our polar bear stays there, because so that's under page, visual styling, background, and set the background image, and then that image stays behind even when stuff scrolls. Hey, Hill. Hill asks, says, this is a dumb question. It's never a dumb question. We're always happy to help you with this stuff. When someone signs up, how do you give them a free download of an ebook? How do you deliver it? So Convertri supports doing this as part of it. So let me just find the right settings in here. I haven't done one of these in a little while. So under button settings, instead of it being a submit button, we can make it a download button, and then you can upload your file. So you can select a file that you've already uploaded here. So put a button on the page, under button settings, change it to be a download button, and then we'll deliver your file that you can upload to Convertri there. And so generally speaking, what you'll do is you'll set up the opt-in form like we built before. Then on your thank you page, you'll have one of these buttons connected to the download. And the main thing I would say is, as part of your question, you said, is it locked behind the opt-in form for sure? So it's locked in as much as they won't be able to see it until they've opted in from that page, but it's not like there's a username and password to get at it. So you wouldn't want to host something like super secure there, like certainly don't put your bank details in it or anything like that. But in terms of making sure somebody's opted in before they get it, it's very unlikely they'll be able to guess the URL that you've published your thank you page on. Hey, Ian McMillan. So you can set H1 and H2 tags if you want to. To be perfectly honest, like it really doesn't affect SEO that much anymore. But if you want to, under the More menu, so we've clicked into the text. Then under More, you can select whether it's paragraph, H1 or H2. So if you want to set up headings for your SEO purposes, you can. But I really wouldn't worry about it much. It just doesn't affect it the way it used to. Hey, SR. So I've done a bunch of question and answer demonstration type webinars like this before. If you go to help.convertri, in fact, I can go to help.convertri.com. He says, typing into the wrong window. So help.convertri.com. So this is our knowledge base. So as well as there's articles and videos about just about every part of the system. And the interesting one in this case is, so all of the sessions like this I've run before are under Q&A webinars. I think we lost the recording on one of them I did, but most of them are available on there. So you can watch the past ones of these. I've done different variations of this demonstration. Some of them are quite similar to this, but if that's the kind of content you're looking for, they're all available there for you to watch. Hey, Byron. Yes, you can copy and paste in text boxes, but we've disabled the right-click menu in the editor simply because a lot of stuff that Chrome does isn't compatible with how Convertri works. So copying and pasting is possible, but you can't just use the sort of right click where you're used to it. So if you select some text, you can either, so on Windows, you hold down, I think it's Control and C, and on a Mac, it's Command and C, and that'll copy. And similarly, you can do Control V or Command V to paste into the box, and that will work how you're used to. You just can't right click to do it. And yeah, so for all the people that were asking about replays, so that's where it will be published, and we will email everyone to let you know when the replay of this is up. And it looks like it's going to be quite a long one because we've been going an hour and a half already, and there's still 200 people here, which is really cool. Thank you for coming out today, guys. Hey, Keats, great questions. Keats asks, is there anything for A/B testing in Convertri? Yes, there is. So we support fairly basic A/B testing. So you can create two versions of a page, but what the way it works is you create kind of a variation of the page. You can't really split test two completely different pages against each other. So if you want to just test, say, headline A versus headline B, Convertri's tools will do it for you. If you want to split test like two radically different designs, then you'll probably want to use a different tool for it. Because the way it works is you create your control and then you create a variation of the control to work on. And that's like, you could delete everything on the page and build a new one from scratch, but that's quite messy, and you will, like, when you complete the test, one or other of those is going away. So if you want to do really complicated split tests, probably another tool is quite useful. Hey, Michael's asked what our support hours are. So typically, the support team works UK office hours, our advertised office hours are UK office hours, sort of 9 till 5, 9 till 6. We have, since, I think that's what the auto response says, since then we have hired additional people as well. So we cover the US time zone a lot better now. And at the moment, everyone, including the development team, like myself and Neil, we're all working the support desk to help clear down the backlog, because it was an amazingly successful promotion. We're super excited to have so many more people with us, but it has created a bit of a support glut. So we're working through that as quickly as we can. So whereas normally we say, like, we'll get back to you within one working day, and it's sort of 9 till 5, 9 till 6 UK time, at the moment, we're all working like 16 hours to get that cleared down. So you can have up to, hey Mary, you can have up to 10 custom domains on your account. Hey Arthur, that's a cool question. Is Convertri mostly used for affiliate marketing? We've got people using Convertri for just about anything you could imagine now, and some use cases we didn't even predict in the early days. So there's people selling like digital products, people selling physical products. Like the digital stuff varies from like simple ebooks all the way up to complicated SaaS applications like Convertri itself. We have people who have built like lots of local websites. We've got quite a few like schools and government agencies now building like sort of information websites about themselves. Local business owners using us to talk about their offerings. We've got Shell use us for a bunch of their innovation products. In fact, we've had a few people build product reference manuals. So like people who work customer support have built kind of the reference manuals for Convertri on us. I can't imagine we're the best tool for it, but they've absolutely done it. So there's very, like, really varied use cases for us. Yeah. So just to repeat, for people asking for details about replays, we will both email you and put the details in the knowledge base. But you should get an email about it when it's up. We usually get them live the following day after I do these things. Hey, Scott, sure. So let's have a look at that video player. So the main things you can do with it are under here. So Convertri supports what's called smart autoplay. So that means it will autoplay on, if it can autoplay with sound, it will, but that's pretty much limited to Firefox only now. If it can't autoplay with sound, what it will do is it will autoplay muted and show a prompt for them to click for sound, and that gives you almost the same level of engagement as if you autoplayed with sound in the first place. It's a really powerful technique. We support toggling the sticky video, so if you toggle that on, you can set where you want it to appear, like top right, top left, and that means if they're watching the video and they scroll down, say, a long sales page, the video will stick in the corner so they can keep watching that video while they scroll. That's really good for sales pages. Okay, well, to Derek, who was at literally an hour ago, asked repeatedly if it was live. This really is live, mate. I'm just answering questions from ages ago, but I get you probably think it was recorded because I am answering questions from quite a while ago now. Sorry. Hey, Mason. So we're probably not going to build like built-in membership functionality for Convertri. There's just such a ton of like great solutions out there, and we're integrated with quite a few of them. The main product we recommend if you want to build your pages with Convertri, and whether you process money through Convertri or if you're using a separate cart as well, the main thing we recommend for building membership sites is a product called Product Dino. Super easy to set up, integrates really well with Convertri. We did the custom integration ourselves, and that will work really well for that. Hey, Lynn. So if you want to import funnels from the internet, then so the import by URL is a page importer, not a funnel importer. So you will need to import each page one at a time. You can't just point it at the whole funnel and import it. And just to reiterate, literally the timestamp on the question I'm answering right now is 3:46, and it's 4:43. So the questions I'm answering at the moment were literally asked an hour ago. There's still 203 people here. We've been going an hour and 43 minutes. I'm really happy to hang around. I will answer everything, but please bear with me. So Horace has asked, how does Google treat pages on Convertri? Can I build links and would they rank competitively? Yeah, so Convertri pages rank really well. And it's not even something we built in like the basic on-page SEO stuff I've shown you, but it wasn't really a primary focus when we built Convertri. It's something that kind of worked out almost as a byproduct of what we did. So Google is absolutely wild about three things at the moment. It loves secure sites, and we give you free SSL certificates for any domain that you point to us. It loves mobile optimized sites, and you've got the mobile specific design mode, which I've shown you on this call. And Google loves really fast loading pages, which is like the main thing that we're all about. So because we're hitting those three factors really, really hard, Convertri pages rank great in Google. And it's not even like, put my hands up, it's not that we designed it to be super cool for SEO. It's just we've done really cool stuff that Google loves. So your pages will rank very well. Do the on-page SEO stuff that you want, but most people find they don't even need to. Yeah, a few people are asking. I've done a demo of this to show you where they are, but I just want to kind of show you something to prove a bit of a point. So all Convertri templates. This is something we mandated from the very beginning. All of these templates you're seeing were built in the Convertri editor with absolutely no cheating. So I'm going to use this. This is one of my favorite templates in there. So this is template demo. So I've selected this page template. And then when we go into it in the editor, everything about this template was built in Convertri. So we didn't cheat and like add a bunch of extra stuff that you can't really build for yourself. We don't mess around like that. Everything in here is something you could have built for yourself, and thus everything in the template you can edit exactly the same as something you built yourself. So you can click in, you can edit the text, we can delete elements, we can move stuff around in exactly the same way. So although they are templates, they work exactly the same as any page you created yourself, and that's pretty powerful because it means you've got the same range of flexibility. You're not constrained with that. Thanks, Scott. Whatever I said about an hour ago got a brilliant with an exclamation mark. So I'm glad you liked it. Hey, Chris. So Chris Donnelly is asking about probably two of our big feature requests that we've had that we are working on at the moment. So the two big ones are PayPal for taking payments and Zapier for integrating other third-party services, but both of which we are on the roadmap they are things we're actively working on at the moment. We get a ton of requests for them, so yeah, we're definitely working on that. For people asking about creating websites for clients, I'll be doing a full demo walkthrough of creating stuff for clients probably next Tuesday, certainly sometime next week. And the guy, if you've heard about a guy called Jim, who's been really successful with Convertri, his name's Jim Rigney. He hangs out in the Convertri group. Feel free to hit him up in there. And you'll hear all about him on the other webinar. Hey, Neveratnam. So page impressions don't accumulate, so they are per month impressions. So if you've got, I think the smallest is 25,000, but we'll use 10,000 as the example. So if you've got 10,000 impressions a month, then they're for use in that month. And the next month you'll have another 10,000, but the previous 10,000 are gone. They don't accumulate over time. Cool. Sorry, I'm still here. I'm just reading through the list. We're starting to get into repeat questions, which I mean, obviously they're repeat questions because at the time I hadn't answered them, but I'm just trying to read through. So if I've already answered a question, I'm not going to repeat it, the answer when somebody else asks it. So if you did join the call late, and I miss over you, then the answer will be in the replay. Hey, Frederick. Yeah, so if you want to run a WordPress blog on the same domain as Convertri, then you'll want to create a subdomain for one or other of them. So we've written a full PDF guide on how to set this up, which is available in the knowledge base. I can't remember which one of these it's in. So if you can't find it, do email support and we'll find it for you. But the reason we've done this is getting that initial domain set up is quite annoying. The domain name system was designed back in the 60s and hasn't been fixed since, so it can be quite confusing. But basically, you'll want to have either your blog on, like at Convertri, we have www.convertri.com, which is our sales material for Convertri, and we have blog.convertri.com, where we publish interesting blog articles. Or you could do it the other way around. You could run your blog on www.yourdomain.com and then have a, say, offers.yourdomain.com or go to yourdomain.com for your Convertri stuff. It works either way around, but you will need one or other of them will need to go on a subdomain to have them work together like that. Hey, Dave. So you get pixels onto your page via custom scripts mostly. So you can basically set scripts to be included at any level. So you can set scripts outside of the editor. It's like include it on every page on this domain, include it on every page in this funnel. Or if you want to put a script onto a page, then under custom scripts. So that's the page menu, custom scripts, then click add page script. And that's where you put your pixel code in order to have it on the page. Cool, just going to reply to this one privately, one moment. Hey, Arnold. In fact, to anyone else on here, so GTW@Prestige Digital is just the username on this webinar account. Please don't send email there. We don't receive it. But we will receive anything you send to support@convertri.com. If you've sent us a request and we've not replied yet, it's merely that we're backed up and we're sorry. We really are working through it as fast as we can. And apologies, I know it's frustrating when you've got a cool toy and you want to use it as fast as possible. And you know that question isn't being answered as quick as you'd like. We get it and we're sorry. We really are working through it as fast as we can. As I say, normally outside of we tend to do like one big marketing event a year, and for the next week, it does tend to slow everything down a bit. But outside of that week and the week following, response times are almost always within a day for stuff like that. Hey, Javed. So we don't run training sessions like specifically every week. We do them on a fairly ad hoc basis. We always do a couple of extra ones after we've just done a big marketing event and put a load of people onto the app, because obviously this is, I hope this has been really useful to you guys for getting up and running, to get your questions answered and so on. But we don't specifically do them every week at a set time. Hey, Robert. Robert's asking about using Facebook ads and if there's any restrictions. So there aren't any restrictions in terms of like using Convertri to build landing pages for your Facebook ads is no different to using any other tool to build it, writing the page yourself, and so on. The main things to think about are make sure you've got a privacy policy for it. Like all paid advertising now wants to see a privacy policy in terms of service. And before anyone asks, I can't offer you a boilerplate one for that. The requirements will depend very much on where you are in the world. So you will need to look that up for yourselves. But having those on your pages is very important. And also try not to make outrageous claims on your pages. I'm not saying anyone in particular on this call, but I've seen quite a few people get their Facebook ads accounts banned for making just crazy claims on the pages. Don't go over the top. But yeah, the main thing you want is to have a privacy policy set up. Sorry, just a reminder, guys. So the questions I'm answering currently are from 3:52. It's now 4:57, so it's over an hour ago. Please include some context in your question. So don't just respond to something I've said because I won't know what I was saying an hour ago. Sorry. Hey, Joanne. So Joanne's asked, can you explain the best way to get customers who would want to convert their old website to a new, faster website as Convertri? There's actually we prepared an entirely separate training session all about that, which will probably be sort of this time next week. Again, we'll email you all about it. But that's not something I'm going to delve into today, but something I'm going to talk hopefully at length about because it's very cool stuff. Hey, Irv, I don't know as we've got any template pages specifically for churches, but there's a ton of templates in there, so it should be quite easy to swap out some of the imagery to make it work for you. Hey, George. So yeah, so if you want to copy sections to other pages, so we've got this bit, then so you select the thing you want to do, and then you can do clone element to another page, and then that'll clone the section to another page in your site. Hey, Michael, we already have a native integration with Sendio. That's something we've already integrated. Hey, Derek, I imagine you've already left by now because you're asking, is it live? Basically an hour ago. But yes, we do integrate with Thrivecart. We've put that. It's not a particularly direct integration. It kind of just works. So it's super easy to get there. You can use their modal checkouts really easily. You can link off to their like full page checkouts. Lots of people like, so the Convertri checkout system, the Convertri sales system is pretty good. Thrivecart being a dedicated cart system is obviously clearly better. It works really well with Convertri. It's pretty easy to get their stuff onto pages you build in Convertri. It's a really good combination. Hey, Joseph. Yeah, so folders for video organization is definitely on the roadmap. Hey, Sophia, I'll talk about the carousel probably on another call sometime because that's carousel is part of our pro elements stuff that's in the pro package. And I want to try and keep this one accessible to anyone regardless of what they own. And in answer to the question about whether we'll do stuff for information as well as images, we're not sure. This is something we're waiting to see what people want to do with it. We're probably going to stick with image-only carousel, but we may well expand it based on what people want. Okay, I obviously mentioned the pro package. We're at 357 for anyone keeping score at the moment. So we're still about an hour. Wow, this is a lot of questions, guys. Really good. 183 people still on this call. Thank you so much for coming out. So I obviously mentioned the pro stuff and got quite a few questions about it. This isn't supposed to be a sales call in any way. I'm going to mention very briefly what is in the pro package. I don't want to dwell on it though, because again, like this is supposed to be a Q&A training thing. If you want more information about it, please email us at support. We'll happily talk to you about it. We can send you a sales page, etc. But so stuff that's in the pro package is there's an extra 250 templates, more than that now, and we can add to that every week. The page collection elements are in the pro package, and some of the pro tools like the carousel. Team members, so the ability to add your virtual assistant, so your designer and so on, that's in the pro package. And the dynamic text system, so the ability to, if you're running page search ads and you want to get the keywords that they search for to see the ad onto the page, that's in the pro plan. And finally, our new video hostings. Please note, not the video player, all of that good stuff's on the front end, but the video hosting where we optimize the video for you, that's also in the pro plan. So hopefully that a whole bunch of people had questions about kind of what's in it. Hopefully that covers it. I'm not going to stick on it because again, this is supposed to be a training call, not a sales call. So don't want to spend too long on it. And I see. And a couple of people. So if you did buy into the pro package and don't see it in your account, please drop an email to support@convertri.com so we can work out what went wrong. Sorry. Hey Luke, yeah. So if you point your own domain at Convertri, then we're still hosting everything for you. That's how we make it so fast. Hey Elsie, so you can't host your video on say YouTube and then use the Convertri player. You will need to host it somewhere, such as S3, for example. I think the same is true of Vimeo and Wistia, because all of those services want you to use their combined hosting and video player. So if you want to use the Convertri Presto player, but without our hosting, you'll need to put the video somewhere like Amazon S3, which is pretty cheap and easy to do. And we've got a full guide to show you how to do it. Hey Valerie, that's correct. So if you're using the HTML code integration for an autoresponder, then the setting where they go, where the thank you page is, that needs to be done in the autoresponder, not in Convertri. Oh, hey Eric, great question. So I published this page earlier, and several people noticed the Powered by Convertri badge. So that's you can turn that off both on a page level and in your account entirely if you don't want it to be seen. So it's automatically an affiliate link. You can have it published there, and then if anyone clicks on it and ends up buying, you make money. But a lot of people don't want it. So under under affiliates, promote this show Powered by Convertri badge on your pages, you can turn that off, click save, and then it will never appear on any page you publish ever. Simple as that. Hey, Helton. Yeah, so if you want to If you do run out of page impressions and need more, we do sell traffic packages, but it's worth noting that less than 1% of people with a Convertri account get over those limits. They are pretty generous ones. So if you do need to, feel free to ping us an email and we can sort you out. And it's also worth noting that there's no like auto shut off. If you've got 25,000 impressions on your account and you get to 25,001, your pages aren't just going to turn off. That's all manual on our side because we don't want anyone to be disabled just because they happen to go over a limit like that. If you consistently go past the limits, we'll get in touch, we'll talk to you, but we're not just going to like automatically shut stuff off. That's not really how we roll. Hey, Dave. So I don't have an infographic handy on page load speed benefits, stats, etc. But I can tell you the main stat. So 5 years ago now, Amazon did the original study, and they found that you lose 40% of your traffic if the page takes 3 seconds or more to load. And then last year, that experiment was repeated by Google, and it's now 53% of traffic if your page loads in 3 seconds or more. So if the page takes more than 3 seconds, you're losing half your traffic before you even get started. Hence why we're pretty obsessed with page load speed. Yeah, sure, Patrick. Let me just show you on. So if you want to change the text on a button, then it is under button settings label. So this could be click me, Patrick. And that changes the text on there. Hey, Lawrence. Lawrence asks, can you do click to call? So you can set up click to call stuff really easily with one important note, and that's iPhones. So if you want to set up a click to call link, so you go like, click me. Then we make this into a link. So the link needs to start with tell. You can look this up on Google as well, how to do it. So you do tell and then the number. The important thing to note is that if you set up a click to call link, then the text for it will appear black on an iPhone. So regardless of what settings you do, however you set it up in Convertri, the styling you set up, that link is going to be black on an iPhone. So make sure that the text that you design it to be black. Otherwise, that click to call link is going to look wrong and stupid on iPhones, and they're quite a big part of the market. Hooray, we're up to 4 o'clock, so I'm only an hour and 10 minutes behind. And there's still 175 people here. So it's really cool. Thank you for hanging around, guys. And as I say, I am working through these questions as quick as I can. So an hour ago, I was obviously talking about the cart something. So yeah, so for anyone who missed it, we are working on a PayPal integration, but you can already get a PayPal buy now button onto your page really easily. You just use the custom HTML element, which is one of them, and copy and paste the code PayPal give you. We've done it ourselves a load of times. You don't need to wait for us to do that. You can already sell with PayPal pretty easily. Hey, Ian. Okay, cool. So Ian's question is, can checkouts do user-adjusted order quantity, e.g. for a number of books? So you can set up what we call product groups, which are variants, but you can't do specifically a quantity. So what I mean by that is Convertri, you could set up a variant that's like 1 of this, 2 of this, 3 of this. You could set up variants like 1 of this, 6 of this, 12 of this, but Convertri doesn't specifically have like a quantity box you can type into. So it's pretty much the equivalent of like red t-shirts, blue t-shirts, green t-shirts. It's 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, but Convertri doesn't know that it's a quantity. It's just a label on a variant. And then you have to interpret that when the product's been sold. Hey, yeah, so several people asking about when I was talking about navigations for building a site. So one of the things we have in the pipe, but I can't tell you when it'll be out, is shared headers and footers. And at that point, you'll be able to design your menu once and then update it across multiple sites. So that is something we're working on. I actually know lots of people want it. That's not currently available. Hey, David. So the website that the imagery has come from, we use two of them. So there's Pixabay is already integrated into Convertri, and another cool one we use is called unsplash.com. They have just amazing photography you can use freely. Cool. So several people have recommended we might want to give Zoom a go. I will. I think after. Yeah, I think we'll probably have to give that a go because hopefully their emails will get delivered as well. Oh, thanks, Hill. Hill said Convertri is so cool. I'm glad you think so. Oh, hey, Steve Baker. Apologies for any time zone issues. Yeah, so it was we started at 3 p.m. UK time. So it looks like you joined after we'd been going an hour. Hey, Virgil. Convertri supports basically if the logo you upload into Convertri has transparency in it, then that Convertri will show the transparency. If the logo you upload doesn't have it transparency in it, it won't be. You're in complete control of that with whatever image you upload. Hey, Randall, I will stick the sales page in the chat privately. As I say, I don't want this to become too salesy, but since you've asked for the pro upgrade link, make sure you're signed into your Convertri account and then go to that page if you did want to get pro. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Sarah James. That's really nice of you. But the last few days, we've been working as hard as we can, but people have had to wait a couple of days for responses that we're not wild about. But thank you for saying it's been excellent. That really means a lot. Oh, Joseph, now that's amazing. Joseph says, Annie, I've had Convertri since it came out. I'm a charter member. It's the most amazing platform that there is out there. I've tried every platform there is, and it beats everything else hands down. Thank you. Thank you very much, Joseph. That's really cool. And for those of you keeping score at home, that was sent at 5 minutes past 4, and it's now 16 minutes past 5. But I think questions have slowed up a bit. I am working through them. Oh, hey, Hill. Hill's asked difference in Convertri between a domain and a subdomain. So as far as Convertri is concerned, there's absolutely no difference whatsoever. It's somewhere to put your pages. So you could publish to example.com or you could publish to something.example.com. Convertri doesn't care. To Convertri, it's just a domain. It publishes to it. They all kind of like the setup is slightly different, and that's why we've got the guide to help you. But in terms of using them in Convertri, Convertri doesn't care what they are. I like it. Scott said, "Whoa, 1,000 new customers. I want to be the first to fly on the new Convertri private jet." I'd like to be the first to fly on the new Convertri private jet as well, but it takes quite a big team to run this. So there's now myself and my business partner and a team of 16 of us working on Convertri. So the staff bill is quite hefty, plus the servers and everything else. So I'm not quite flying a private jet yet, but maybe one day. Hey, Torsten asked about adding its own stuff to collections. So that's not something we currently support, but it is something we're working on because we think that would be amazing to be able to like design reusable sections of a page. Hey, CC. CC's asked, do you accommodate email hosting if the URL is hosted with you? So you can have if you have your site, funnels, whatever, hosted with Convertri, we don't provide email for you, but it's pretty easy to have email provided by someone else. Like you're not prevented from doing that when your website's with us. And we've got a guide of how to set up the DNS stuff to make that work. So for example, at Convertri, we use G Suite, which I think it's like a few bucks a month to have a custom email address on your domain. There's a bunch of services like that out there. So we don't provide email services for you, but you can set that up pretty quickly and easily. Wow, that's really cool. There's 165 people still on this call, and we're 2 hours, 20 minutes into it. Thank you so much for coming out today, guys. It's really cool. Hey, Bill, I'm not going to dwell on Quisitory stuff today. I'll keep focused on Convertri, but I can say probably not going to do ranking questions, ranking answers in order of importance. Never say never, but that's probably not on the list. Oh, thanks, guys. Well, at 10 past 4, I obviously said something that made everyone say lots of thank you. So thank you to you guys too. Hey, Chandra, animations isn't something we have implemented in Convertri yet. There was a really cool add-on someone made a few years ago that made getting animations into Convertri or any other page builder really easily, and they sold it so ridiculously cheap that it just didn't feel worth us spending the quite a lot of dev money that it would take to implement it. Unfortunately, it stopped working about 6 months ago. So we're in a position now where we're back to it is a bit of a pain to get that working. So that's probably something we'll implement ourselves now. Oh, cool question, Dave. So Dave asks, will installing the WordPress plugin on a client's site for a landing page, will the page load as fast as Convertri landing page? So no, it won't. So what happens when you use the WordPress plugin, it's basically got to load WordPress first, and then it'll contact Convertri in order to load the page. So you've got the additional page load time of loading WordPress before it can load any of the Convertri stuff, which is why, if at all possible, put stuff onto a subdomain rather than trying to use that WordPress plugin. The WordPress plugin is provided for convenience because loads of people want it, but it's just like and it's not that our plugin isn't that good. It's like any approach like that will never work that well. Hence, we recommend you use a subdomain rather than a plugin. Oh no, I'm really sorry to hear that, Stephanie. If you're still on the call, sorry. Apparently my support team refunded everything for Stephanie when she'd just been charged twice by accident. But everything came back. I'm really sorry about that. If you get in touch with support at convertri.com, we'll fix it, and obviously we'll still honour the offer. We're not going to make you pay full price just because you missed it, just because we messed it up. We'll honour any deal or anything like that for you. Sorry. Cool. A couple of people have asked about the pro upgrade, so I'm just gonna. I've sent out the sales page privately as I find them, but I don't want to get too salesy on this call. Hey Larry, so for copying and pasting text, it's only the copying and pasting still works. It's only the right click we've had to disable. So if you need to copy whether it's 2 words or like 7 paragraphs, highlight it, and then on Windows hold down Control and press C, or on Mac hold down Command and press C, and then on the other page hold down Control and press V, and then on a Mac Command and press V, and that'll do the copy and paste you're used to from the right click. Hey Terry, yeah, panel backgrounds can be completely clear if you want. So if we wanted to group these 2 things together for mobilization, we didn't want this to appear at all. You can just set the background color and drag this right-hand bar all the way down to the bottom, and then it's still there. It's just completely transparent. A few people asking about constant contact, and this is where I have to admit I can't remember if that's one of our integrations, so I'm going to have to look it up. You'll have to forgive me, this is the price of having a team of 16 people. I don't know everything about the product anymore. So no, we haven't integrated constant contact yet, but I know it's come up quite a lot. So it definitely works via the HTML form copy and paste option, and it comes up quite a lot. So I imagine that's one of the next integrations that we'll probably tackle. Hey Mary, yeah, so the pages that you make in Convertri will be automatically optimized for mobile, but then you're in complete control over like how you want them to look. So we'll do a mobile version for you automatically, but then you're not limited to just what we give you. You can do work on top of that to make it completely specific to how you want it. Yep, cool. For those that came later onto the call and haven't seen it yet, help.convertri.com. There's a full knowledge base there's articles and videos with just about every feature we've got in there. All of the past Q&A webinars like this one, if that's the kind of thing you like. And we add, basically what usually happens is we deploy new features and fixes on a Tuesday, and then over the next few days, our support team, our documentation team add videos on how to use it, articles on how to use it, and then ad hoc we typically find we do more detailed guides when let's say we get a load of emails to support about like we did with setting up a WordPress blog alongside Convertri. That's when we write more detailed, extensive guides on how to do stuff. But we try and release the documentation kind of within a couple of days of the new stuff coming out. Hey, Eric. Yeah, so if you want to unpublish something that's already been published, actually, I've probably got the... which one of these did I publish? Definitely published this one, haven't I? So you can just go to the 3-dot menu on the card and click unpublish, and that'll unpublish it. Hey, Arié, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Yes, you can set up product groups in order to facilitate selling multiple variations. So this could be product group. Oh, let's call this t-shirts. And then in t-shirts, we could have red t-shirt, which is going to be $10. And then we'll also have blue t-shirt, and blue t-shirt's $15. So that's how you create the different variations, and then that ties into the checkout system. So they can pick one of those during checkout. Hey, Shel. So Convertri supports a single currency per account. So you can change the currency that your account sells in up until the point where you've made a sale. And then after you've made your first sale, your account will be locked to the currency that that sale was made in. Hey, Nick. So if you want to use an A record for a subdomain, you can. However, we recommend you use something that's called a CNAME record, and that points to custom.convertri.com. And the reason to do that is we do something more complicated than the typical A record that you're probably used to setting up. And what that does is basically, based on where somebody is in the world, we return a different answer to that DNS query. So if somebody's in America, we give them the IP address of the American data center. If they're in Europe, they get the European data center, etc. If you set a single IP address on it, then say you use the IP address of the American data center, then everyone in the world will be visiting the American data center, and it will be slower for somebody, say in Europe, for example. That's why we recommend the CNAME setup, and then we can take care of all of that stuff completely automatically. Hey, Ian. Yeah, so if you're on the standard version, not the pro version, you will need to host the videos yourselves. And it doesn't necessarily make them slower, certainly on good connections on like NAF mobile devices. Like obviously our hosting does do some cool page speed stuff, but it's certainly not required. You can host your videos on S3 perfectly well, and it will work for most people. Hey, Michael's asking, can you use Publitio or YouTube for background videos? I don't. YouTube certainly doesn't work for that anymore. They put way too much crud on their player. I mean, that's part of why the thing loads so slowly. I don't know what Publitio is, so you might be able to, but I couldn't tell you on this call. Sorry. Hey, Arieh. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. We've got a direct integration with Usign. We don't have an integration with Dropbox yet, but we're probably going to sort that out. And ditto videos. But both Dropbox and videos, it's really easy to get the stuff you create onto a Convertri page. Hey, Scott. So Scott, can I have a live streaming video in that player? So our player doesn't support live streaming videos. You'd need a different service if you want to do live streams on a Convertri page. Hey, Vincent. Vincent asks, if a video is hosted by Convertri and not YouTube, does that affect the SEO of the video? Sort of. So obviously, if a video isn't on YouTube, it's not going to show up in a YouTube search, but it's just as likely to show up in a regular, say, Google search, for example. Oh, amazing. Thank you very much for the kind words, Helton. That one's quite a long one, so I won't read that one out. But seriously, thank you very much. That's a good question, Elsie. Elsie, as us, if we use the page builder, does it also copy functionality such as a search box? So no, it won't. So when the page importer will import what pages look like, but it won't import behavior. For example, if there's the ability to leave comments on the page, that won't be imported. If there's a search box on the page, that won't be imported. What you're copying is how it looks. So think text, think images, think coloring, think fonts. So for membership sites, you'll want, I've covered this before, so I'll do the quickie version now. For membership sites, you'll need third-party software such as Product Dino if you want to do password protected stuff. Hey Luke, so we don't support exporting it to host. You can point your domain to Convertri, so your Convertri pages can appear on any domain you want. That will work fine, but what we don't support is you exporting them and then you host the pages on your own servers, because when you do that, we can't do a lot of the page speed stuff that we do. So we provide all of the hosting and you point your domain at us, and then that will work fine. Hey, Stephen. Stephen says he recently added a privacy policy to his funnel, added a blank page to the page creation page. Should I use the connector arrow or just a text link? So the arrows are there to help inform how things could work. So, for example, when you've got an opt-in form and a thank you page, by drawing that arrow, it automatically populates the thank you page for the form. But for stuff like, it doesn't have to be connected for a link to work. So in your case, you can just make a text link and you don't have to worry about the arrows at all. Hey, Nick, we never provide estimates on when integrations and new functionality and so on will happen, because the moment we pick a time, the moment we say something specific, all we can ever do is disappoint people or meet expectations. And software is just really hard to get right. So we don't offer estimates on when we'll be rolling stuff out. We try to indicate, we tell you what's available now, obviously. As soon as it's available, we release it. We try to indicate the stuff we're working on, the stuff we're thinking about. We're trying to involve customers in that process, but we don't go, we're going to release this on this date. Hey, Javid. No, so the training sessions that we run like this, that's not part of a premium package or anything. This is just something we provide for people that own the software to help you get more out of it. We like to do it. We think it helps people, or you can look at it from a selfish point of view. If people keep using our service, they keep paying us. So training sessions like this, future ones we do, we're not going to charge extra for that. That's just part of the software package. Hey, Terry, I remember you from very early day webinars. Thank you very much for coming back. Hey, Yuan. Sorry, no. Yes, Yuan. So if the SSL is being lost when you add a PayPal button, then you're probably copying and pasting the wrong lump of code. I can't really go into that on this call though, but if you email support@convertri.com, we can help you figure out what you're doing wrong, because that definitely will work. Hey, Erin. So you can add custom domains to Convertri. So we provide free subdomains on Convertri. So in my case, I'm andy.convertri.com. You could be erin.convertri.com. That's a great place to like get started, to publish test stuff and so on. But you can publish on your own custom domain, and then the Convertri branding won't be there at all. Hey, George asks, are global settings possible for elements so changes are propagated across pages? So we're working on what we're calling shared headers and footers at the moment, which will do that for, say, like a shared header menu, but that's not something we support in general, no. Hey, Tony asks, is there a preferred browser to be used with Convertri? So we split the world into two sections. So the editor is Chrome only, and so you need to be using Chrome on either a desktop or a laptop. Chromebooks work fine, apparently, but it won't run in, say, Edge or Firefox. And we do that because Convertri uses some really cutting-edge tech that only Chrome has, and making it work in those other browsers would take a lot of development cycles, which we don't consider worth it. However, the pages you publish will work in just about everything. Like if you've still got somebody using IE6 on a computer from like 2002, your pages probably won't work. But for like the 98% of people who are on an even remotely modern, I mean like last 10 years type browser, your pages should look exactly the same in the editor as they do on the published page across tons of devices. So we have that split there. Oh, thanks for the kind words, Mark. Thanks, Scott. I really appreciate it. Hey, Randy. So if you want to get your video's logo sting that you've generated into a Convertri page, if you're on the Pro plan, then you can upload it into the video section under campaigns. If you're not on the Pro plan, then you can still use our video player, but you'll need to put the video file somewhere like Amazon S3. And if you pop over to the knowledge base, we've got a guide on how to do that. Hey, Michael, no, we are never going to run an AppSumo lifetime deal on Convertri. Convertri is a far too complicated app. It costs a lot of money for us to develop. We are definitely never doing an AppSumo thing. Hey, Gary. So the dynamic text which updates from paid search ads is in the Pro package. So I'm not going to cover that today because I want to keep these two features that are kind of available to everyone. But there is a full guide on how it works in the knowledge base if you'd like to look it up. Yeah, several people clocked the tea making that went on. So I'm in the Convertri office with our UX designer Ben. We're both ill today. So when you're hearing the coughing, that's him. The dead throaty voice, that's me. And he was very kind to make me a cup of tea about an hour ago. Hey Judy, so the auto webinar features we're going to cover in a different training. We'll get stuff up. We'll either publish a load of stuff into the knowledge base or run another session like this. I'm not going to try and cover auto webinars today as well. We've already been going 2 hours, 40 minutes. My throat's kind of dead. I'm not going to do that one as well, sorry. The membership software I mentioned is called Product Dino. Hey Judy, I don't know if we're compatible with Sam Backer's member app. We certainly can be. There's no reason not to. They do, basically the way integrations with membership site stuff works is when a sale is made on Convertri, we send a signal that's referred to as a webhook to other services. And those other services need to have implemented that data format. So they need to know what it means in order to create someone based off that happening. But hopefully, if they haven't done so already, they'll be able to quite quickly. It's quite an easy integration to do. Hey, CC, so changing the opacity of colors, I'll do it for in the color picker regardless of what you've got selected. The opacity is on the right-hand side here. So that at the top is fully opaque, can't see it through it at all. At the bottom is fully transparent, can't see it at all. And somewhere in the middle looks really good for the text overlays. Oh, thanks, Joe. Joe says one of the best trainings. I'm really glad to do it. We've been working on this for nearly 4 years now. We think we've built some pretty cool software, and we really enjoy helping people use it. Hey, CC, to identify if there's layers on an existing template, it won't tell you in the selector, but when you open the template, then there's a little icon here over the layers thing. You see, on this case, I put 2 layers on the page. So there's a 2 on the layers button. That'll tell you if there's layers on there. Hey, Jim Rigney's on the call. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, so feel free to hit Jim up in the group to chat about that stuff. And you'll be hearing more about him on the client training webinar I mentioned earlier, which we'll be doing sometime next week. Hey, Carrie. So if you, this always causes a bit of confusion. So when you click on create, in campaign. So when you create a new funnel, there's this many funnel templates. But then, as noted here, you can create a funnel from scratch. And then we've got an absolute ton of page templates, which you can mix and match, combine in all ways you like. So there's these funnel templates. And then under, if we go back into our campaign, when you go new page, there's a load of individual page templates and pages from funnel templates that you can mix and match to your heart's content as well. Yep, for those of you asking, we absolutely are live and it absolutely will be a replay. Well, as long as GoToWebinar doesn't die. Like, I'm a bit worried about how, converting the recording because we've been going ages. It should be fine. We should be fine. We've done like 3.5 hour ones before and it's gone fine. And we're at 2 hours 44 minutes. Hey, Michael Belber. Yeah, absolutely. So you can put your retargeting script for Facebook ads and so on onto the page in the custom script section. Hey, Ron. Creating drop-down menus takes a little bit of work. And if you'll forgive me, I'm not going to demo that now. I've been talking for 2 hours, 45 minutes, and my throat's really dead. I think we've got stuff in the knowledge base on how to do that. I know Jim's published something in the group on how to do it, and we can always make something extra up to help you out with that, but I don't think I can do that demo now, sorry. Hey, Joanne, yeah, social settings you do need to do per page. You can't set those across the whole domain, for example. Oh, Scott, thank you so much. Scott says support's always been spot on. As I say, I like to think we're giving excellent responses at the moment, but there have just been a lot of questions and we're behind on answering them. So if you're on this call and you have asked something of support and you're still waiting, sorry. We are getting through it. It doesn't normally take this long. You normally get a pretty quick answer, but at the moment we are a bit backed up. Hey, Judy, Thrive Themes is open because I used it as a demonstration for our page importer, but they do also make some really cool WordPress themes. But I did a demo of importing this page into the Convertri editor to edit it. And we use Thrive themes as an example because it's a page we obviously can't control. Oh, thanks, Andrew. Andrew says moving everything over to Convertri. That's amazing to hear. So all the training videos I referred to are available at help.convertri.com, including past Q&A webinars, and we'll send out an email soon. Hey, Mary asks, is there a way to add an opt-in directly into a video? So you can't add, there's not like a single ticky box that turns it on, but the Convertri video player has actions and events with it. Let's go back into our campaign. So one thing you can do, for example, with actions and events is to show other parts when something happens. So an event type could be video time, and you can say video passes time marker 1 minute. And then because of that, so when it passes the 1 minute mark, you can pause the video and you can show a layer that has an email opt-in form. So that creates what we call a video lead gate. So by having things happen at specific times in the video, you can create that opt-in effect or any combination you like. It's also cool for doing things like showing a buy button when you start the pitch in a VSL or any manner of things like that. It's really good for interactions on a page. Hey, Peter, we're probably not going to do crypto payments as an integration. If you want to accept cryptocurrencies, you'll probably need a third-party cart. I've just got to a section where a few people ask questions about like upgrades and different plans and stuff. We're specifically not doing this as a sales pitch or anything. So if you've got any questions about things like that, I don't want to get all salesy or anything. So if you could drop an email to support@convertri.com and we'll help you out with it on there. Hey, Matthias. Sorry, I don't know what. I haven't used dub.com, so I can't comment on how well it works for video hosting. Sorry. So if you want to use Vue Players, hey Jürgen, if you want to use Vue Players hosting, I don't know whether, basically, in order to use somebody else's hosting and the Convertri player, then the video host needs to make the MP4 file available somewhere publicly, the same as if you put that MP4 file onto, say, S3. So if they do that, you can. If they don't, you can't. And that's a limitation on their side, not ours. Apologies, guys. I'm starting to give slightly wonky answers. I've been going for 3 hours. I hope you'll forgive me. Seriously, 148 people still on this call. That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming out. Hey, Caleb, Wistia for vids will definitely work fine, if not quite as fast as our hosting. I honestly don't know if MemberMouse is integrated into like sales through Convertri. Sorry. Hi, yeah. I realise the support's backed up at the minute. A few people are asking support questions in the chat. I'm sorry, I can't do specific support answers here. Bear with us. We will get to all of those questions if you've emailed us. It is taking us a couple of extra days at the moment. Oh, thanks, Linda. No, you're very welcome. I'm always happy to hang around and answer questions like this. Oh, Erin, that's brilliant. Erin says, amazing. This is a game changer for my business. Thanks so much. That's really cool. Thanks for trusting us with your business. Hey Virgil, I think SendGrid is like SMTP only. I don't think they work as an autoresponder, so I don't think they can be integrated. That's a good question, Christopher. Christopher's asked, just curious, how much longer today before we close it down? Um, so I'm currently answering questions from 20 past 5. I'm going to keep going as long as I can, guys. I really do want to answer everyone's questions before I disappear. But I must admit, my throat is killing me now. It's been 3 hours. So apologies if I don't get to everyone. I'm really sorry. Thanks. Errol says best wishes to the awesome word arranger Beth. So for anyone who hasn't read or hasn't had many of the update emails yet, a lovely lady named Beth does all of our update emails, a bunch of the content. She's done a lot of the training videos in the knowledge base. She's absolutely awesome, and you will get to know her. And I will definitely let her know that you said such kind words, Errol. Thank you. We probably won't clean up the audio. We tend to do quite raw versions of the webinar, the Q&A webinars. Oh, thanks, Nadine. That's great to hear. Hey, Erin, so if you've got video files, Convertri will absolutely play them. So if you want to host them on Convertri, you'll need the Pro plan. But in terms of just using our video player, that's in the standard version, but you'll just need to upload that video somewhere else, like Amazon S3. Hey, Chuck, thanks for joining us. Yeah, there'll absolutely be a recording of this, help.convertri.com under Q&A webinars, and obviously we'll send out emails about it as well. So in order to publish, hey Nadine, in order to publish Convertri pages to the domain, that domain does need to be pointed at Convertri. So you can't just publish stuff to, say, a client's website when it's got other stuff on it. Hey Byron, sorry I can't assist figuring out what's wrong with the account. Please drop an email to support@convertri.com and we can help you out there. But I can't do that live on a call with 140 other people here. Sorry. Hey, Richard Corney. Richard asked, do you offer a done-for-you service? We used to do design service stuff for people who wanted it, but honestly, there's a ton of people in the Convertri Facebook group who do just that now, and so we tend to let them handle the more sort of done-for-you stuff, like people who need like paid assistance, rather than doing it ourselves, as it's really helped foster the community. So we don't ourselves, but there's plenty of people who do. Hey, Christopher, I'm not going to dwell on this too much again. This is trying not to make this a sales call, but yeah, we do have an agency version, and we will in fact be making a special offer deal on it in the nearest future. So keep an eye on your email for details of that. But I don't want to get into salesy now. Hey, Pert. So there's a question and answer box, and I'm reading the question and then calling out the person's name first, so they know who I'm talking to. Because I imagine quite a few people listening I've kind of got it on in the background at this point. We have been going 3 hours. So there isn't somebody else asking the question. I'm just reading it. I try to, so usually when I do these, I try to read out the question as well as give the answer because it gives people more context. We're 3 hours in at this point. I'm pretty tired. I'm just forgetting to do it. That's why. Hey Jim, haven't answered that one. So Convertri can't import HTML files from your hard drive. If you want to use the page importer on them, you will have to put that HTML file live somewhere and then point the page importer at the published page. Hey Ari, the difference between pro and agency accounts is basically the ability to have sub accounts to make it easier to work with clients. Hey Lee, we don't currently have caption support in the Convertri video player, but that's something we do want to add. Yep, replay will be available in the knowledge base. We're catching up fast now. I think we're up to 5:45 and we're already at 6 p.m. now. So I think people are starting to drop off, which my throat is quite grateful for here. Hey Charlotte, so for the best way to get started, there's a section called Getting Started. I go there rather than the question and answer webinars. The Q&A webinars are very much like this format where I answer like very disparate questions. It's quite interesting if you want to learn like some, maybe hear about some features you didn't know about, but it's not very good in terms of like getting into it. In terms of like getting set up and getting running, the Getting Started guides in that section are much better for it. Yeah, Christopher. Convertri's got a lot to it. We've been doing this for 4 years. There's a team of 16 of us working on this, so there's a lot of functionality in there. But remember, don't let the amount of stuff there overwhelm you. Just because Convertri has a ton of functionality doesn't mean you have to use it. Focus on solving like the immediate problems in front of you. So if you need to start generating leads, get a simple squeeze page set up. Don't worry about all the other functionality yet. Oh, thanks, Chandra. That's really nice. Andrew, you're awesome. Thanks for being determined to answer all of our questions. I've never ever come across. I do my best. Although I'm quite glad the questions are slowing up now because I'm kind of dying here. Thanks, Michael Hampton. Michael Hampton says dub.com works great. So sorry, I can't remember who asked about that, but one of the people in the chat has said it works fine. Hey, Joseph, yes, you can do a CSV export of data that's stored in Convertri. Oh, fantastic. Apparently, VooPlayer can provide a URL of a hosted video, so that should work. Thanks, Nadine. Cool. Michael says Publitio can provide such a URL, so it should work too, but we're not totally sure. Oh, thank you, Steven. Steven says, thanks so much for a great webinar. Convertri is a superb tool with an awesome team. Oh, thanks, Caleb. Caleb says, I'll tinker around with it. Thank you. And way to rock it out. 3 hours plus. Really appreciate what you and the team have built here. Excited to get rocking and rolling. No, thank you so much. Thanks, Virgil. Oh, Stuart, that's brilliant. He says, I wish everyone a Convertri moment. Convertri is literally changing the way I do business. When you realize what it's capable of, you'll have sleepless nights. That's fantastic. Dave says, I love Beth. Yui says, thanks for answering all the questions. Hey Renee, so you can't just use WordPress templates in Convertri, but if you had, say, a landing page template on a WordPress site, you could use the page importer to import it. Thanks, Caleb. Caleb says hot water, lemon, ginger, honey, and cinnamon is good for the throat. Not gonna lie, I think we're gonna need heavier duty stuff after 3 hours. I think we'll be going whiskey. Oh, thank you for all the kind words, guys. It's really cool. I really appreciate it. Oh, no worries, Erin. I'm happy to repeat some of the answers. Like as I say, some questions that got asked again, I've skipped over because they'll be in the replay. Cool. I think we're pretty much coming to the end here. We've got Nadine says thank you. Richard says thank you. Eric says thank you. Yeah, Convertri Pro has the new video player in it. That's all part of the package. Hey Udo, no, he says amazing commitment. Love the subway. No, seriously, thank you guys as well. Brian says greatly appreciate what you've created on this webinar. Yeah, Jim, I'm still here. Okay, hey Christopher, let's be very clear. This is Andy Fletcher. Neil Merton is my business partner. He's a really cool guy, but he's not the one that's been talking for 3 hours. I want the credit for this one. Thanks, Cece. That's really cool. Thanks, Erin. Thank you, Navaratnam. Is that right? Thanks, Sean. That's brilliant. Thanks, Errol. Thank you, Randy. That's fine, Christopher. But I hope you appreciate 3 hours in. I really want the credit for that one. Guys, cool. I think we've got to the end of the questions. It's been 3 hours. So first of all, if you have asked a question and I've missed it, sorry. Please drop an email to support@convertri.com and we'll help you out. I think I've got everything. If I haven't, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, sure, Joseph. So as long as the data's been submitted via like one of the API integrations, then under cart prospects. Or maybe I'm wrong. Oh, sorry. I do apologize. It's the order data you can download. We haven't added a button for exporting prospect data, but if you email support@convertri.com, we can certainly help you do that. That won't be a problem. Cool. Yeah. So seriously, guys, thank you very much for coming out. Hill, yeah, it says can't wait for next week's webinar. Next week, we may do one in the middle for things like the auto webinar module. We might just do like a bumper set of videos, depending on how my throat holds out. Next week, we're going to be talking about using Convertri for clients. We've got some really cool training based around what the lovely Jim Rigney has been doing. And yeah, I hope you all come along to it. Thank you so much for coming out today. You guys have been brilliant. And thanks for putting up with Ben coughing in the background and my throat going and the long pauses and so on. Really appreciate you guys. Cheers. Seriously, thank you so much. And I'll see you all again soon. I hope to see you in the Facebook group. Ta-ra for now.